Nolly, don't do that. Hey, come here. What are you doing? Get up here. Come here. Hey, hey, come here. Little shit. Ah, fucking cat's out of the bag, baby. My cat's wigging out right now, man. She's geeking out. All right. We're live. Cool. Sometimes my internet lags, but excuses. All right. We're live. We're good. We're looking smooth. We got everybody in here. Get this party started. We got Keeping It Keith coming on. We're going to build up the audience, get it cracking. What's up, David? How you doing? Sheldon, what's up, brother? What's up, Big Daddy? Second Big Daddy. YZTC, my boy. With the envious hair. Stop. Is this anyone's first time? It feels like my first time every time I do one of these lives, if it makes you feel any better. Let's see. Steven, what's up, brother? I am wearing a shirt under this jacket. Thank you, though. What's up, Fat Man Drive Trucks? Nice. Hope better have my money. Been smoking since I was 2. All right. First timer here. What's up? Dig Deeper TV. How you doing? Welcome. Get on in here. I'm trying out a new webcam so that, because some of your first time, my bad. But the other camera I use, the fancy camera, isn't made for live streams. So it always cuts out. It'll freeze. So I got this new webcam. I don't know how the quality is. I'm going to have to mess with it. It's my first time using it. Donatello Slapafello. He's got the best one-liners in the chat so far that I've noticed. We're going to build this up a little more, and then we're going to keep Keith on here today. For you new guys here, basically a little bit into the show, I'm going to send out a link. And as long as you have a phone, you could hit the link if you want to pop on live and talk your shit. You're more than welcome to. Today's subject matter is stress and burning out. So that's kind of we could switch gears, we'll change subjects, but that's about all it is. It's pretty simple. Get Keith in here in a minute. Whiskey, what's up, brother? One of my Patreon members. And if any of my other Patreon people are in here, I finally posted a video. So my bad. I haven't posted anything there until the other day. Is this going to be the episode with Jack and Crazy Drunk Uncle? I'm not sure. It could be. You know what time it is. Buckle up, baby. You know it. We got Chuck Nasty in the building. What's up, brother? GTA 6. I don't even play video games, but when that video game does come out, I'm going to check it out. I still have Vice City from PS2. Guns and Poker. Oh, I forgot to say thanks for coming over to the channel last time. You said you came over from Keith's channel. I appreciate you being here. David, what's up, my man? About to cook up some steak and eggs? Son of a bitch. I'm a little jealous. All right, we got a lot of people in here. Love your show. More entertaining than a fixed football game. What's funny about you could look this up. I don't think I'm making it up. But technically all the sports like football, basketball, it's all staged. It's like wrestling. You can look it up yourself. Yeah, I wasn't surprised, to be honest with you. When you're watching a basketball game, which I never do, but the few times I have, it's always like, at least during the finals and stuff, it's always like neck and neck, like 91-90. It's like point for point. That shit ain't by accident. Maybe it is. I don't know. What's up, BK? No link. Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the chat in a little bit. I'm gonna get Keith on here. I'm gonna send out the link to him, and he could jump on. And I'm gonna have Keith come on for a little bit, and then I'm gonna get you guys to come on, and we'll really get the party started and just get crazy, just get weird with it. Have fun, keep it loose, keep it light, keep it fun. Snappy Jacks. I thought of a stupid restaurant name called Snapper Jacks. That'd be cool. I'd eat there. He goes, just got to work, about to enjoy some RLP. Thanks for the great content. Of course, no problem. I do what I can. Jeffrey, my boy, don't forget to tip the homeless. Oh, you like that joke? Yeah, sleeping on the job. Throw money on a homeless guy who's sleeping. Yeah, bad. I mean, it's bad, but I'm sure he woke up and he was happy. John, what's up? He goes, we are living in the little season of the devil. Jesus Christ's second coming is in our past. All right. Praise the Lord. Amen. Thank you for the $2, brother. Appreciate that. Love your stream, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your hard-earned dollars. It means a lot. I'm going to go ahead and text Keith here. Tell him he could pop in whenever he's ready. All right. I'm going to pop the link in the chat. You guys, I wouldn't jump on it immediately because I'm not going to put you on right away. I'm going to wait until me and Keith kind of do our thing, kind of we're going to go back and forth, talk about, he's a little older than me. I think he's got almost 10 years on me. So, he's experienced burnout and stress more than I have. I mean, we all deal with it in our own ways, but it's just something that I've been facing. Not that I've never dealt with this before. It's just, for those of you who saw the video today that I put out, you get to a place where you work so much and you just forget to even do things that aren't just for money. And I'm not saying I don't just do anything. I just took a vacation not too long ago. I get that. But the 7 days a week, I think it's important that I take a day off, which is exactly what I'm doing. I'm fixing the problem. And I need like at least 1 day a week where I'm just turned off, just out of it. No work, nothing. We're going to wait for Keith to come on. But let's see. We got some guy popping in here. I'm just going to let him in until Keith gets here, and then you're getting the boot, buddy. I'm going to put him on. Some guy named Eddie. Hopefully he doesn't ruin the entire show. Eddie Money.
Hey, what's happening?
What's up, brother? How old are you? Where are you hailing from, my man?
Doing all right, man. I've watched your show a few times, and it's really interesting. It's really entertaining, man.
I'm
But I
glad you
think that a lot of the stuff is pretty real, and the struggle itself is pretty real, man.
That's awesome, man. What? Let me just ask you a quick question. How old are you, and where are you living?
Doing all right, talking about burnout and things like that. I myself, I haven't experienced it yet, and not to brag or anything, but I've done a lot of work on development and automation, and that's what's helped me. But I do know a lot of people that burn out heavily, and I think that we're more underpaid than ever. I live in Oregon. I'm originally from Southern California. Moving to
Okay.
Oregon because I was paying $420 for rent at the time as a college student. Super easy. We were working part time, and we were paying for our own education. Was a really good deal compared to the housing market in California.
Okay.
Now, if you're here in Oregon, the only thing I can say is that it's shit. It's really expensive, really overpriced. It used to be that you moved from anywhere else to Oregon because housing was so good. You paid a lot less money on rent, and buying a home was super cheap. So it was like a big deal. I know a lot of people that used to live in California, super common here in Oregon. But now you get the terrible weather, you get the really expensive rent, and no wonder, like we have a.
All right, I'm really sorry, Eddie, but I did tell you were going to get the boot when Keith got here, and he was cutting out. No offense. Thank you. Come pop back on, Eddie. If you could hear me, pop back on in a little bit. I'll let you back in. Get you some better service. You were cutting out a bunch there. Sorry about that. Keeping it, Keith. He's live. He's real. He's kept it, Keith, all these years, and that's why people love him. He's a big deal in some areas of the internet, in the back alleyways of the interwebs.
Trying to shut my ringer off.
Yeah.
Don't. Man, I don't know how technology works. So.
Hey, I'm
drunk uncle, apparently.
I don't know what I'm doing either. It's fine. But before we get into it, Keith, thanks for coming on. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Josh says, I talked to you on Instagram a couple weeks ago. I want to come on, but I'm a little embarrassed. Um, I mean, if it helps at all, nobody really cares. So if you really want to come on, just come on. Like nobody, you know what I mean? No one's gonna be after the stream sleeping at night going, oh, that guy Josh was a real just fuck. He ruined my night.
Josh.
Yeah, they're gonna go, oh, Josh Birdwell. This dude's a joke. No one's gonna say that. No one cares. So if you ever want to pop on, just pop on. Just have fun.
Advice for it, man. Just know what you want to talk about. Don't be nervous. Just talk normal and have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't take it serious. This isn't like you're not calling into CNBC or Fox News to have some big conversation. You know, it's just some guys chilling, bullshit.
Yeah. This is not that. Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
Thanks for the $2 from Major Muffalo. Love that ad name. Yeah, so Josh, last word of advice. Just keep it Josh, dude.
Keep it Josh.
Just keep it Josh.
Good way to do it.
Don't do anything else. Yeah, so anyways, like I'm sure a lot of you saw earlier. Hold on, let me see this one because Minske goes, hey Jack, just saw your video with your dad regarding your hectic work schedule. I actually tuned in to you saying you do exactly what I was about to advise. 1 day a week with absolutely no work. Yeah. I know it will eventually. Okay. So I get it. The whole, suffer now so that you don't have to later, you put the work in now so that you can chill out later. I get that. I do. I totally understand. And I've had a bunch of you guys, I haven't really been through the comments, but on Instagram have hit me up. They're like, dude, you could be a coal miner, or you could be doing, I'm like, I know. It could be way worse. I'm living on pretty much easy street for the most part. I'm doing really well compared to most people. I get it. But that's why we're going to talk about avoiding stress and avoiding the burnout, because, if I don't do something about it and even just 1 day a week, just shutting everything off, I think that'll help tremendously. And then down the road, hopefully sometime next year, I could take 2 days off a week. Holy shit. Like, wow. And I mean, like Keith, how old you say you were? You said you're 42?
40. I'm about to be 42. Yeah.
Okay. Cause I just turned 34. So that's 8 years, but like, how do you think, when do you think the most stressed out you've ever been was, and what do you think you could have did to possibly avoid it?
Man, my most stressed time ever would have been, I was 24 years old, married with 2 kids. And I was,
wow.
I mean, we had no money. So it was tough. You had to be creative, but it was a little bit of an easier time back then too. I feel like, just like the guy that was just on here talking to you, times are tough right now, man. Rents are through the roof. Groceries are insane. I deal with that. I'm feeding 2 teenagers, so it's not easy. Yeah, and it's tough, man. I mean, and I couldn't imagine. I'm old school. I stopped having car payments probably, I don't even know now, 5-6 years ago, and I haven't
Thank
had
the Lord
since. But I'm a mechanic, so I can keep my cars, running. I know how to work on that stuff. But man, these car payments now are like, whew, I mean, a decent car is at least, close to 40 grand. And that's not even anything super nice. That's just like a nice, reliable Honda or something,
What's even funnier is like, so the first time I really ever got super stressed in my life was before I ended up living in my car for about 3 months. And I bounced back super quick. I had money in the bank. Shorty, what you drank, big shit popping. No, I was kidding. I was okay. Like I was reselling online. I had lost my job. They shut down. Luckily, I always had a side hustle, so I took that real serious. And I know you've done a bunch of flipping on eBay, which is hilarious because I did that for years.
And we both love eating birds. It's like, what's going on here? Maybe I don't even know about it.
It's weird. So anyways, but I remember I had a car payment. Yeah, I know. And am I freezing? Really? Did I freeze it all? No, we're good. Okay. So I got my first ever car payment at like 26, and that only lasted 2 years. But but I remember I had raised my bills so much because I was living on Easy Street. Okay. I had like 30 grand in the bank. I'm 25. I'm chilling. I'm making like 1,500 a week on average. Got a couple roommates, which were like my best friends. We're California, 4 blocks from the beach,
Oh wow.
chilling. 2 girlfriends. No, maybe not the 2 girlfriends,
No.
but yeah, just a couple Bettys. But man, it was like awesome. But I without noticing it, I kept raising my bills on accident. Didn't even mean to do it. It was like car payment. It was paying 280 a month for the car, and then full coverage, which was 220, I believe. So call it 500 a month. But eventually, all my other bills started going up and up and up.
Mhm.
And then I remember that was the most stressed out I ever was because I stopped making the same amount of money. And then next thing you know, that was like, it wasn't the first time I experienced working 7 days a week, but that was being stressed out and broke. I had to reflect on that. And I really thought about that the other day because the video I posted today on the stressed out thing, I filmed that a couple days ago. But I was really, really thinking about it heavy, going, okay, I've been in much worse situations. And luckily, my bills are pretty low considering I have no car payment, hardly any debt if you don't include a mortgage. But that's good debt, I would assume. But like, but now I'm at it again. I'm 34 and I'm like, okay, I learned my lesson on the bill shit, but I don't think I've learned my lesson on the work, like just stretching yourself so thin, just working every day. And sometimes we think we could do it. Sometimes I'm like, no, I'm the shit. I can handle all of this. No big deal. And the truth is I fucking can't. I just fucking can't handle it. I can't.
I always take Sundays off. Sunday's my day of, it's my day. I do what I want to do. If I want to mess around the garage all day, if I want to clean the house, if I want to sit in bed all day, Sunday's my day of just decompression from the week. You got to do it. You owe it to yourself.
So Sunday's your day.
Sunday's my day. That's my day to do whatever I feel like doing that day.
So, yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at. I think I haven't picked my day yet, but it's between Monday and Friday. But I think I'm going to go with Friday and try and be a normal person who has Fridays off. I don't even know if these people really exist anymore, but I'm going to have to do it. And I'm going to have to, like, as badly as I want things to work out and go faster and all this shit, I'm like, I don't think I'll ever get there if I don't stop to take a chill. We got Organic Thug here. This guy actually started following me before anybody ever followed me. I get like 2 comments. This guy's been here a long time. He goes, yeah, it's real easy to work nonstop and lose yourself. Isolation is real while you work too much. Then you burn out and no one is there to catch you when you are down. Keep in contact with friends and family. Yeah, yep. Like 1,000%. And I mean, like you were talking about that, Keith. So something I thought was hilarious is I talked to a lot of YouTubers and a couple of comedian friends who should be on YouTube, but they're not. They're trying to go the old school route, which is like good luck with that. But it's funny because so many people want. Because I know you got burnt out with your YouTube channel. That's why you just stopped posting. And I'm sure you just were like, I don't even care anymore. But what was that like for you? Because it's funny because you weren't even trying to become a YouTuber. You just naturally happened. And we got people out here, dude. I'm not kidding you. I get hit up on a daily basis on how to make it on YouTube. And people trying so hard to get where you got. So, like, do you mind explaining to some people, and especially people in here that may have followed you a long time? Like,
I'll tell you the truth of it, man. The easiest way around it is you just got to be yourself. There's a lot of fake out on the, not even just YouTube and social media in general. There's a lot of, I don't know, just like I said, there's a lot of fake people out there. There's a lot of people trying to act, trying to be something that they're not, trying to put on this face for online. And I was just straight with people, man. That's just who I am. Like, if you met me in person, I'm the same exact person. I'm very straight to the point. I say what's on my mind. I don't really sugarcoat anything. And I just feel like that kind of, I came across as a very genuine guy, which I like to think that I am. And people like that. And then I was talking about a subject that I didn't know was so popular. I was talking about like divorce and going through a divorce and especially when you have a family and kids and everything, and like losing that family and whatnot. And I guess I didn't know that there's a lot of guys dealing with that. And as men, we have our emotions, we have our feelings, but we tend to have them under control, and we tend to not really like put them out there. And
Yep.
uh, it was weird for me to do that, to kind of put it out there a little bit. But then I started realizing that, like, man, I'm really helping a lot of guys. Like, there's a lot of guys that are going through these same things. And
Oh yeah.
as a man, you're kind of like, because I remember during my divorce and shortly after, and living on my own, and not having my kids all the time, and not waking up every day, or not going to bed every day seeing your kids. And there's some moments where you really kind of like, what did I do? And the other thing I learned too is a lot of times in relationships in general with women is they'll kind of they can't beat you mentally, or they can't beat you physically, so they beat you down mentally. And I had this time period there where I was like, maybe I am a bad guy, maybe I am doing things wrong, maybe I could have been better. Like, I really started questioning myself. And it took a little while to be like, no, man, you're a good dude. Like, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I would never hit my woman. I was I always worked, I always provided, I always took care of my kids. I mean, what more do you want out of a man?
Yeah.
And it took me a little while and it took a lot of these guys talking to me and commenting on my stuff and just being like, man, it's not you. Like, I did the same thing. I was a good dude. I worked, I took care of my family, I took care of my kids, and I'm going through this too. So it really just went gangbusters, man. Like, it was like I put up one video that went bonkers, and I just started getting 10 and 20 and 100 and then 200, and then it was creeping up on like 1,000, and my buddy's like, bro, something's going on here. Like,
Yeah.
you're talking about something good. And then next thing I know, it was like 2,000 and 10,000 and 20,000, and I'm monetized and I'm getting money, I'm getting paychecks, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, my friend tried to explain it to me, because, like, again, I don't really understand all the technology. And the way he explained it was it's an exponential growth. So he goes, just because you have one and you get two doesn't mean the next you're going to get three. Then it goes up to 10, and then it goes up to 20, and then it goes up to 40 and 80 and 100, and it grows so fast. And that's kind of what happened for me. So I just think that the number one rule with YouTube is, if you're trying to be a character and you're trying to do that, that's fine. Be that. But if you're trying to be just who you are, just be who you are. Put yourself out there, be who you are, and don't be afraid of it.
No, and I think that's exactly why you did really well, because there's a lack of that in entertainment in general. I mean, think about it. TV and movies for the longest time was people pretending.
Yep.
Literally. Like, I don't know if you guys ever heard a news person talk, but if they sound like that walking around the city or ordering, you come to my bar and order a drink from me sounding like a newscaster, I'm going to be a little confused. And I don't even know if I should serve you, to be honest. You sound a little funny. But that's kind of what it is. It's like, it's refreshing, because I really don't subscribe to anybody who I think's putting on the typical thing where it's like, I'm not even going to mimic it. It's fine. Everybody's into their own thing. Thanks for the $2. Life is important. Stop working and live life. Yeah, no, actually, absolutely. 1,000%. That's, and I need to have this conversation, because, I went to have this talk with my, I call him my brother. He's really just my best friend. But what's up, Stomp the Elites? Another Patreon member. How you doing, brother? I tried having this talk with my brother, but here's the thing with this is he works more than me. He's addicted to the overtime. I've said this before on my channel a bunch of times. People get addicted to the overtime, and by overtime, I mean money, because that's where the real money comes from, especially if you're in the trades work like he is. He doesn't own the business, so he's got to really milk that. And so I've talked to him about this before, and he was like, dude, I'm feeling it hardcore. He's like, but you have this like thing in your head where, by May, I'll be ready. And I'm sitting here going, I don't think I have till May. You know what I mean? I don't think most of us have. I think it's important to do it earlier. That's why I kind of brought it up and just was like, so don't be shocked when you start seeing different types of videos where I'm like cruising around the car or I'm like, vlogging or something. Cause I got to switch it up and I have to kind of dial down my workload. Not that I'm not going to still put in the effort. I'm going to show up. I've been doing this for years for free. So now I'm going to getting paid. You bet your dick I'm going to keep going. You're loved by God. Enjoy the years here. You don't get your life back. Thanks for the $5, brother. Yeah, true. And yeah, so I think that's just where I'm at. And I know I'm not the only person. Like at my job, there's, oh my God, like I think most of the employees all have 2 jobs. All like we make good money at my place, but that's just where it's at. Especially South Florida. It's like the new California over here. So it's
it's tough.
Yeah, I'm lucky because I own a house, but I still have bills, and every year everything just keeps going up. Property tax, insurance, my HOA, every year is just, and I'm like, I'll be okay. I hope, I try not to stress about it. Ennis with the $4.99, because what's up, Jack? Good to see you, brother. As far as taking a break, nah, fam, I disagree, man. I keep money bags under my eyes, money over rest. Yeah. Hey, you know what though? I've been doing exactly what this gentleman just said. Thanks for the $5. I've been like that many times in my life. In the past year, I've done exactly that. Yep. So I'm a year deep into what I'm saying. So that's all I'm trying to say is I feel like I haven't learned my lesson. Not the first time I did it, not the second time, but this is the third time I'm like just working 7 days a week. And I haven't learned my lesson. I just haven't learned my lesson. And yeah, so thanks for the $2.
I think a big thing is my mic working? Can you hear me good?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, good. I think a big thing that happens too is I kind of learned that moment where I was like, money isn't really your time is the real commodity. Like, remember that movie with Justin Timberlake where they all had their time on their arm, and when it got down to 0, you died, and every day you went to work, you put your arm under the thing, and they gave you more time. And it's
are you talking about that movie?
Yeah, I think it was called like In Time or something
with
like that.
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, and the hot chick played his mom.
That's a good movie.
Love that chick. But that's a good idea of what's going on. That's real life. Is time is really your money. Time is your commodity. So you have to start looking at it like, how do I make the most money in the least amount of time? Like I guess that's what our goal is. And when you really think of it, you're like your rent every month, you're exchanging your time for rent. That's all it is. The money is just a middle part. You know what I mean? It's not. It's true. Like a fictitious item. Money is like, it's weird. Like when you start looking at money as what it really is, and it doesn't. I think even like Andrew Tate had a thing one time where he was talking about. He goes, you don't really own anything at any moment. A signature of a judge on a piece of paper can take your cars away and take your property away and all of that stuff. So really at the end of the day, all you're left with is, your word and your soul or something like that. I forget how he worded it, but it's accurate is, so many people want to chase that bag and make all that money and have, live this lifestyle. And then I seen somebody in the comments earlier said something about that, where everybody, they complain about not being able to make it, but then they got expensive cars and they're wearing designer clothes. And it's like, I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it with your Starbucks in your hand every day, bitching about not being able to pay your rent, or you're bitching about the cost of rent, but you're living in a high-end luxury. Everybody wants these luxury townhouses and apartments, and they want to be connected to all these other people. And it's like,
what's funny? What's hilarious with the money not being real thing? I had a ex-girlfriend of mine. Oh, this was so rich. God. But she would say this all the time. She'd be like, time and money isn't real, Jack.
Yeah.
And then one day there was a eviction notice on her door. She was 3 months late on rent in a high rise in Miami, downtown, off Biscayne on the Intercoastal. Not saying I didn't enjoy that apartment. I sure did. But I'm just saying she came to me for money one time, which I gave her like a real asshole. Classic. But I remember telling her, I go, that whole like time and money not being real thing? I go, have you tried that with your landlord?
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd love that one. But she did have something. she did have an understanding that I do have, but I'm not living now, which she did find plenty of time to enjoy life and not take things too serious.
Clearly.
So I feel like finding the happy medium. This guy also said he's been a fan of you since 2020. So
Yeah,
thanks for the $2.
That's like the original.
Stop, do your thing in there somewhere to get to the point. Old and regret. I'm kind of, maybe I don't know how to read.
Do your thing in there somewhere. Do get to the point. Old regret. I don't know.
Well, either way, thanks for the $10. This guy goes, I've been watching Jack for a long time, and I think you could do both this and the character thing. Yeah, of course.
For
I
sure.
I can pretend, like, for sure. I've done so many skits and stuff. They all got deleted. Maybe I'll bust them out down the road and kind of be like, here's a skit from 2017.
Maybe
of
I'll come
me.
down to visit and I'll get you
Yeah.
out there on the street filming you, and we'll get
Actually,
riled up.
actually kind of like talk about the avoiding the burnout and all that. Is I've been on such a grind, and like since all of my old content isn't really there anymore, you guys just don't know. Only like Organic Thug, who commented earlier, he's seen, probably he knows what I'm saying, because I used to do skits, vlogs. Like today I posted an old clip from 2018 with my dad in the car where I'd secretly film us and he had no idea I was filming. I called that Mark After Dark. I got hours of footage of that, and I basically did every type of content you could think of, because it kept it fun. It kept it light, kept it loose, kept it fun. And so I've got stuck in this rotation of just doing the same kind of stuff, which I do like. I love doing it. But I'm sitting here going, why am I just, I finally have a bunch of people who are watching me and like the stuff and engaging, and they're, on the same level. And I'm like, why am I not doing other things to kind of switch it up? Because that's also when you're having fun and you don't feel like you're constantly repeating things. That also is like another level to avoid the burnout. Yep. Steven goes, thanks guys. I work 30 hours a week, make about 50K, and I could never imagine being happier than I am now. Yeah. And I've been there too. I've done exactly what this guy's saying. I used to work around 30 to 35 hours a week bartending. And I made like 70,000 a year. Yeah. But I got super comfortable and I wasn't working towards my dreams. And being in the business as long as I have, I know what happens when you're 50 and you're still a waiter. Yeah. It's usually not good. Usually, I mean, unless they're super smart with their money, which most of them were not. No. I'm the only guy at my job who does not go out after work and drink. I'm the only. No, that's not true. There's a couple other people who are super responsible and they want out of the business. Jim Berg goes, I burnt out at 40, took a year and a half off, traveled around, camped, relaxed. Then I started missing working in my trade and went back to work. Yeah, I think that's kind of what it is though. Like Keith, how long did you stop YouTube for? If you don't mind me asking.
I don't really remember. Some of the people in the chat might remember more than I did. I mean, it was a decent amount of time there. I probably had all my stuff down and really wasn't posting anything I might put when shorts, like when I first started, shorts weren't really a thing. And then shorts kind of took off. So I started coming back in, just like throwing up a little short every once in a while, maybe a quick little, what's on my mind type thing. But then I just recently brought all my videos back out of, I had put them all on like private so that they
okay.
down.
I gotcha.
And I pulled them all back. Well, not all of them, but I pulled a decent amount of them back. The ones I liked and thought were good, good subjects or, entertaining and whatnot. I pulled them back off of private and put them live again. So, but it was probably a good 6 months, somewhere in that range. It might have been could have been a little longer. I honestly, I didn't keep track of it. I was so busy.
No, I get it. But just like how Jim said over here, how he took the time off and then missed it. I feel like that's where you're at, where you're like, I kind of miss the community, because that's what I like the most. The
community is great, man.
It's
amazing.
It's so cool because it's funny because you can't always. Chris Whalen, of course, dude. We're gonna catch up. I'm gonna put the link out in a little bit. Me and Keith are just gonna kind of do our little thing. We're gonna keep it, Keith, and then I'm gonna invite you guys in like normal, and then we could have a big old party. But Yeah, I think that's what it is too. And you know what? Some of these people I talk with, most people could be so negative. And I know I talk about a lot of like kind of down subjects on my channel. Um, but really it's just important conversations that I honestly I don't get to have in my real life.
Yeah.
So I bring it
Sometimes
to the internet.
it's the tough conversation. And,
Yeah.
maybe there's a lot of people out there that are feeling that weight and they need that at that moment. They need to hear about it. Or people you can help keep them out of those issues, or or like this, like something about being stressed out and how to not deal, how to keep yourself from being stressed out. That might help save some people from getting to that point where they're just like, I'm done, like I can't do this anymore.
Guilty. I need it.
Yeah.
I need it. And I'm not even that stressed out. I mean, 3 months ago, I was substantially more stressed out. Like I'm talking 50% more, because I was like this is a whole thing with my dad, and it was just super rough. And ever since I got him in a home, my stress level went from here to here, but I'm trying to get it down to about here. I don't expect it to ever be like, maybe when I'm 75 or maybe when I'm like way older and I'm like, I guess money isn't a thing anymore, which who knows if that'll ever happen. But
I bet it does.
in a perfect world, I feel like that's the time where your stress level is just like, whatever, man. And yes, Black Cad, you could fuck, yeah, tits. You can say whatever you want on here, within reason. But yeah, people do need to hear it, and that's like, I've had some stuff. A guy reached out to me, and he was like, "Hey, man, I've been following you since 2017 when you had no one here." And he's like, I know what you're talking about. It's important, but I miss some of the other stuff you used to do. And I was like, yeah, I do too. And I guess I just, you get caught up talking about kind of negative stuff. And then you're like, well, negativity sells. I'm going to just, so, but I always try and like, even with the negative, like with all the negatives, I always try and say some super positive shit, because I'm an optimistic guy. So, some people call me a dreamer. This one goes, those who have much are not content, are poor. Those who have a little are content, and at peace are rich. Dude, some of these are kind of hard for me to read tonight. Yeah, I made that out though. Yes, I less is more. I believe that. I do believe that. Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got a lot of donations coming in tonight. Thank you guys. Good. You will waste time and eventually you regret. Too late, sir. What I meant chasing money. Yeah, exactly. I agree. I agree 1,000%. And I learned not to chase money a long time ago. And that was the first time. I'll tell you the first time I burnt out. I was 23 and I had just got off felony probation for selling weed. And that's how I made most of my money. I ended up getting a really good connect is what they call it. And I was doing really well, from like 19 to like, for 19-year-old, I was really making a substantial income. That's all I could really, and I had a job on top of that. But once that all went away, I had to go learn how to really make money the real way, basically. Yeah. And so I had this goal. I was like, I'm going to save up a shit ton of money and I'm going to move to California and I'm going to go after the skateboarding dream. And if that fails, I'll be a comedian, because everyone tells me I should be one anyways. So it's true. That's exactly what I did. And I worked at a law firm part-time from 10 in the morning till 3 p.m. I would get off that and then I would go to my restaurant job. And then I would work that from 5 till 11 to midnight, sometimes 2 in the morning, depending on if it was a Friday or something. And so basically Monday to Sunday, I would work on average 10 shifts. And then my dad still kind of owned a business at that time, carpet cleaning. So I was doing that too on the side. And he started getting really bad on drugs. So I just took over and I would just go do the jobs by myself. And sometimes I wouldn't even tell him. He'd be so gone on pills that I was like, whatever, dude. Like I like one time I booked this big job on the 12th floor of this building, $1,400. Yeah, I was like 23, and I felt like such a dick. I didn't tell him. I was paying for his rent at he was living in a trailer at the time, so $500 a month, and I was paying for it. So I was like, fuck you. But I loved them. It wasn't like that, but anyways, I did that for a year, 7 days a week, 10 shifts every week, and the carpet cleaning. And towards the end of it, I was like, I'm gonna quit in April. I'll quit my law firm job. I ended up quitting a month early, and then I was gonna hold out my restaurant job, but I hit 30 grand in the bank, and I was like,
Felt
I'm
good.
done. I just quit everything because I just literally I would wake up in the morning and just be like, I was like, I can't do it. I was like, I can't do it anymore. I was like, I can't. And that was the first time I experienced burnout.
Yeah.
So thanks for the $10, the $9.99 from downtown. 44-year-old, tired of people saying this Gen Z is lazy. They quit too easy. My grandparents, Gen, used to working somewhere. Okay, they used to work for 40 years to retire. Retirement is different. Kids have 3 jobs. Yeah, I know. It's like, what do you, Keith? What do you have, like, I don't want to like barge in. You don't have to answer this, but
Yeah.
do you think you have like a good you have a good possibility for retirement? Like, if you don't mind answering that.
I got nothing.
Well, I'll tell you what you do have.
Nothing.
If I were, I mean, you're here now, and that is something I think about. I try not to dwell on it. I try and just go, look, I'm going to put money as much money as I can away, and I'm going to keep this house that I have here, and that'll be paid off in 10 years, and then I'll get a different house and rent this one. You try and plan shit out, but I do think about that. I really do, and it's kind of scary. I try not to dwell on it.
Sure. You got to
But
think about it, man. You don't want to work and I think the same way, man. I don't want to work the rest of my life. I think my hard thing was I started out so young with kids that all my money has gone towards raising a family. And now I'm just like, I'm getting, and most men don't really hit their stride until their late 30s into their 40s. And I
Yeah.
feel like I'm really hitting my stride now. My business is doing really good. I've been booking really big jobs where I'm making really good profits on them. And I'm like, now is my time to start focusing on that stuff. My kids are
Capitalizing.
17 and 18. So, it's not even so much I'm like, oh, you got to get out of the house, but it is nice that they're both working and they're both making their own money. So if they want to go buy something, they just go buy it. They don't have to, you
don't have to worry about that.
taking some weight off my shoulders as far as that goes. And luckily I have girls, so they can still eat, but they don't eat like, teenage boys do. So I'm not going through insane amounts of food and everything. And like I said, I feel like life is just over the last like year or two has really, really just started getting to be a little bit easier. And I mean, part of it was just getting myself out of that rat race. And something you were saying earlier, and this is like a saying I always think is, money comes and goes, but time's gone forever.
Yeah.
So, you can always
Yep.
make money, lose money, and make money again, but you can't spend time and get it back. So you got to make sure that time is spent wisely. So I spent a lot of years where I could have worked harder and made more money, but I didn't, and I made enough to survive. But then I also got to, I never missed a function with my kids at school. I never missed a trip or anything with them. That all to me has a lot of value to it. So
Absolutely.
like I said, I feel very positive about my future. And I think I got myself in a position, like I said, I cut back on my finances. I don't have any car payments.
Yep.
I secured a good place to live at a good rate and everything before everything got bananas. And it's just, taking all them little bits of weight off your shoulder, a little bit here, a little bit there,
Yep.
it really makes a big difference in just, you don't have to worry as much. Man, some people got a big nut to crack every month, and it's scary.
Wait,
And
Keith, speaking of big nut to crack, just give me one moment here. We got 100 big ones from
there you go.
downtown. Shit.
Did you break the chair?
No. Well, it's fine because it's $100. I'll buy
I
a
was
new
gonna
one.
say, go buy a
I'm
new
just
one.
kidding. I'm just joking. I know people love when I freak out, so I figured I'd give them a little something. No, my cord's stuck under the damn chair. You see what you did with the $100, Blackhead? This is your fault. Ruining the entire stream now. All right. Yeah. So, anyways, but you know what's cool? Like that's awesome because my dad, he ruined his life with pills. That's and alcohol. That's what it was. He
Yeah.
ruined his life. He did. And but before that, he was like the best father, and he really got into his own. Probably, I'd say, just before 50 or 45ish. That's when he really lasered in. I remember he had like 7 to 10 employees, depending on the season. I even went and worked with them. And since I was his son, you know, I got paid much more than the other guys.
For sure.
But I got overpaid, you know, like he'd give them 100 for the day. He'd give me 150, you know, but I always had a normal job too. I didn't just work with him, but but he really capitalized, and honestly, he would have been sitting real pretty. Him and my mom had like 3 properties at one point, and 2008 hit. My dad was all hopped up on drugs, and it kind of just all, and my mom wasn't the money guru. My mom did not care about money. She had a good job, but she didn't care about money. And so once my dad was so out of it, you know, my mom ended up just taking total losses on every property, basically broke even. When they could have cashed out, like my dad's like mastermind plan was like coming to fruition. You know, it was like just watching this genius at work, and then all of a sudden drugs just cripple you. And you know what? It's sad and all, but it's just kind of something where you look at that and you go, fuck. You're watching somebody do something, and you're like, I think he's doing it. Like, I think he's about to, you know, and it was just kind of sad. But anyways, where I'm going with that is like how you said you're hitting your stride and everything. Another cool opportunity that you have is, you know, the YouTube stuff. Even if you don't show up all the time, like that little bit of extra money, and people like you. I mean, they're in here. Like, you know, I saw the chat afterwards on the last week's one that we did, and there was a bunch of people in here, and I was like, this guy really's got some people that really like him. Like,
and I didn't even announce that I was coming on last week or nothing. I just popped into your thing. And
yeah.
So those are people that were already following you who also followed me, which is a wild concept. You
That
know,
is,
like when
yeah.
you know, it's like such a small world type deal. But
in the grand scheme of things, it's crazy. But I'm glad that you're you know, you're back at it. And the cool thing is, since your business in real life is crushing it, not that this isn't real life. I don't know why I say that, but this is also something that can help you down the road. You know, like the potential just to put that all away into like an IRA or some bullshit, you know. I'll get Chris Whalen on here, our internet accountant. But he, you know, my accountant's whipped me into shape the past 3 years. I mean, he's really like not forced me, but kind of like, because I don't have like that father figure anymore, or anybody to kind of, you know, push me to save and like put money here and like really like pay future jack, you know. So yeah, even if everything goes to shit, what if it doesn't? You know, I'd like to retire if everything's fine. This guy goes, Nick says, you only make good money in jobs no one wants to do.
For sure.
Yeah. And it was kind of funny because in one of in the video the whole tipping culture video I made, I was talking about how a lot of people don't realize how much money you can make as a waiter or a bartender. But that's one of those jobs, though. Most people, I don't even want to really do it. You know what I mean? Nobody really wants to do that job. But that's why you see people. I worked at a bar, and I got burnt out from this bar. I was working late night shifts, ladies' night, Friday night, getting out at 3, 4 in the morning. And after like 3 years, I was so fried, and I was only working 3 days a week.
Yeah.
I was doing my resale stuff too, but like I just couldn't do it anymore. And some of these I'd say 80% of the bartenders worked there for 15 years. Like they started as 25-year-old hot ladies, and now they're 45, and they're there 3 in the morning with me. But it's like we would always say the same thing. They tell me, because I always knew, I'm like, I could go make money other ways. Like, this isn't the only way to do it. But they would say, like, I don't know where else to go where I can make $700 on a Saturday night without showing
Especially
my.
in Florida. Florida's a tough market, man. It was a big shell shock for me when I moved to Florida because I came in right at the end of the fallout and everything. I think I moved down in 2011. So I kind of caught the tail end of it all, and a lot of people were fresh off of foreclosures and
Yep.
repossessions, and it was a really, really tough time financially. I remember the house that I rented when I moved there was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, corner lot, had a in-ground pool with a lanai over it. Had a big yard with like a little gym, playground thing in it. I mean, it's a beautiful home, and I think we paid like $12.50 a month for it, which like at the time I was like, oh my God, it's a lot of money. Now I'm like, God damn, that's cheap.
Oh, that was a steal.
And I think they were trying to sell the house for 135 grand, and they could not get anybody on it. And at the time I was like, man,
135.
and nobody would buy it because the houses were so cheap after all those foreclosures that they were just like giving them away. And they were right. Like when you went and you looked at the real estate, there were houses that were even nicer than that house for cheaper.
Yeah.
So, and that was just what they owed on it. They were trying to break even, so they decided to rent it out. And I looked up that house the other day, Jack, and I want to say it was at like 400 and like 70 grand or 60 grand is what its estimate was or whatever. And I'm like, God damn, man, I should have bought. I wish I would have been in a better position, but I mean, that was, like I said, we moved here and 6 months later, she said, I want a divorce. So I was in no position to be buying a house.
Yeah. You're like, I'm fucked.
I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought I was just going to run back home. Like I didn't even know if we were going to stay, nothing.
No, I get it. And I think that's another thing too. The fact that so many people are like, how in the hell do I even buy a house ever? But the cool thing is, I don't want to say it's cool, but if shit does crash again, I was actually watching this dude's channel, this guy Michael Bordenaro, and he was like pulling up 2006 and 2007 news articles from the housing crash, and they're identical with what they're saying now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the cool thing is I don't think houses are ever going to crash down to like 100 grand. But I do think it's like, if it doesn't fall down pretty substantially, then that's when I don't think anyone's going to be buying it. I think everyone's going to be like, this is a load of shit. Like, I think, I mean, I made a whole thing on van life because I know people personally, and even me, I've even thought to myself,
I'd love to do it. Stuff
it. Why not? If nothing else is working, why am I even going to try? It's kind of laughable, honestly. Like sometimes you just got to laugh it off.
Well, they say too that it's kind of a dark thought to it, but they said as the boomer generation starts to age and get out of their homes, that's going to open up a lot of, because you got to figure the boomers are a huge generation and they all own homes.
Yeah,
they're all sitting on those homes right now. So that's another topic that I've heard, is that as the boomers get older and pass or go into homes or whatever it may be, it's gonna open up a lot of homes that way. So I think the number one thing to stabilize the economy, and this is just my own view of it, my number one view to stabilize the economy, the housing market, the cost of goods, everything, is get back to families, man. Like everybody's single, everybody's on their own, everybody's in their own house. Everybody has to, that's 2 refrigerators and 2 TVs and 2 everything. Nobody's together anymore. We're not building that family anymore. So I think that eats up a lot of the housing too.
That's a big thing. I mean, they still exist. I talk about this with the Hispanic community and even the Haitian community where I live. All of my neighbors, man. My neighbors are Haitian. I got Middle Eastern people. Whole family lives together. It's like, and especially with the Hispanics, like ridiculous, man. They will have 2 full-blown families living together. And it's just, I think there's a disconnect with just a lot of us. And it has to do with the whole, everyone. I get it. Roommates can be hard to come by. Good roommates, I've had my share run of trial and error with roommates. Oh, but you better believe it. I've lived with a woman before. It didn't, that didn't work out because, well, she had a kid. So that was never going to work. That wasn't mine. And it was an out of sight, out of mind thing.
Clear that up.
Yeah. It was an out of sight, out of mind. So I never saw the kid. The whole year and a half we were together. Next thing you know, we're living together. And guess what? One day her daughter's in the house and she's no longer some imaginary person that I don't see. It's real. And I was like, oh, this is never going to work. And, but it's hard to do that. And everyone wants to be independent. Nobody wants to settle down until they're old enough, whatever the fuck that means. And then it's a risk. You've talked about this 1,000 times on your channel. It's a risk for the woman and the man. Because I'm gonna be real with you. I know some real assholes. I mean,
sure.
like not just women. I know some real. I'm not necessarily friends with these people, but I know them well enough. And like this guy at my work who just started. I hope he doesn't watch this, but actually, you know what? He's the one walked around telling everybody on his second shift. Fuck that. He's the one that's talking out his ass. Bro, this guy got 2 different girls pregnant within 1 month and has 2 kids.
Is it Nick Cannon? Are you working with Nick Cannon?
Exact. But he's a waiter though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you're a waiter, you're a loser. I'm just saying like you probably can't afford to be having 2 kids with 2 different women 1 month apart. That's just kind of, and like, imagine it's like being a dude, right? And you get with a girl and, you're fully invested. Next thing you know, she has a kid with another man. And you're like, wait a minute, we live together. That's the same shit that I've with some of these guys out here. And it's like, the more the women do it, the more the men do it, the more the men do it, the more the women do it. And then all the guys that are like, I get roasted a couple times here and there. Oh, a relationship guy, LOL. Because I always say I'm a relationship guy. And I know there's a lot of people out there who think like I do, who just want it to be, I just want to not worry about it. I got one girl. Yeah. Do I think other women are hot? Yes, of course I do.
Sure.
But do I want to go deal with that all the time? No, I fucking don't. I've tried it. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
It's stressful.
It's so, oh my God.
I mean, speaking about stress, that was one of the comments I had in my community post. The one guy said, stay single. It's a lot less stress. And I'm like, it's not even so much stay single. It's if you could get one good person by your side who you can rely on and everything, that takes away a lot of stress. That's what a relationship's about. You know what I mean? It's helping each other out and everything, and taking some of that. When you're super stressed, I take some of that off you, and when I'm super stressed, I need you to take a little bit off of me.
Absolutely.
And that's a hard thing to find these days. When the going gets tough, the tough get going, and now it just feels like that get going just means they're out. As soon as the relationship starts to hit, shit hits the fan, it gets a little bit tough, and you hit a little bit of turmoil. It's like, all right, I'm done because I can just move on to the next one, and it's no big deal. The loyalty side is so gone. The loyalty's gone in friendships and relationships and everything.
Let me put it to you this way. Oh, and by the way, link is in the chat. We're wide open. Anybody who wants to pop in, get on in here. But yeah, Chris is jumping in. But dude, even with the friendship, let me put it to you this way. I guess I've just been blessed in my life to have some really good friends that I'm talking 20-year, 30-year, 15-year friendships here. And don't get me wrong, I've had some that have gone a long time. You think they're going to be forever, and it turns out they weren't actually a friend. That's happened too. Yep. But like me and my boy Taco, I didn't even say that. Taco's not on the stream tonight. He chose the dark side, aka work, versus actually being on this. So I see where his priorities are. He's all about his own pockets. No, I'm just kidding. He is interning. I don't blame him. Go get your money. But it's funny because we go to work together and we're such good friends that I'm starting to see how many other people I'm like, oh, you don't have that.
It's tough because
they'll make remarks like they'll say stuff where they're like, oh, look at you two gay boys, or like, and it's like, do you? And I'm like, wow. And me and him laugh about it. I'm like, that's kind of sad. Like, I don't think they know what it's like to have. And the funniest part is I've said this to people at work when they've like made comments. I go, the best part is he's not the only one.
Yeah.
I got a couple more that are just like this, even thicker, even tighter, and so, but the more and more people I meet, like this one guy, he's begged to hang out with me for 4 or 5 months. I finally said yes. And and then it took another 3 or 4 months for him to get the hint that it's like, dude, I don't want to go drink and smoke weed with you at your house. Like, it's not that I don't think you're a cool guy. It's just,
like a better thing I could be doing.
But it sucks because it's like, damn, man, like the whole like camaraderie and all that. I'm like, I know it still exists, but anyways, what's up, Chris? How you doing, brother?
Hey, everybody. Good to see you, Keith. Good to see you, Jack. Everything's great.
So let me
Can you
ask
hear me
you.
all right?
We could hear you perfectly fine.
Perfect.
Great.
Let me ask you a question. So you've owned your own business now for how long?
I really started as a teenager, but my CPA practice on my own since 93.
93. So 30 years. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever experienced like some burnout moments or some real high stress over these years in your business?
All the time. This last tax season, one of my main tax managers, he had a congestive heart failure, so hard to replace someone in January. So I just went through that. And I actually have a list. I made a little document for 2024 advice and resolutions for the men. I thought if you give me a minute, I could run down some good advice
Go ahead,
that I
lay it
tell
on us,
my
Big Daddy.
Sure.
So first of all, and this is Jack and Keith. I've watched both of you a long time. No new debt in 24. No new debt at all, right, Jack?
I'm not.
And
I'm
pay
not
down
buying a damn thing.
pay down existing debt. Now, when it comes to your budget on a monthly basis, line one should be some kind of savings off your net. I know it's hard, but try to take 5% of your net, put in a savings account, work your way up to 10%, rainy day fund. We want to have, if we could eventually, 3 to 6 months of expenses in cash, right, Keith? Something Keith's
Gotcha.
talked about forever and for years. So remember, the other way self-employed people can save for retirement is a SEP IRA or a solo 401k. So remember, even if you're doing Uber or DoorDash, you can take advantage of take a full tax deduction for some self-employment retirement deduction. So if you have any questions on that during tax time, let me know. The next thing is sleep. Sleep is the most important thing to me. We have to sleep enough. And remember, this is my number two rule: keep peace in your personal space. Eliminate all negative, no matter how difficult. Sometimes people say they love us, but they can hamstring us. Keith knows this.
Mm-hmm.
Evaluate each person in your life. I meditate twice a day. Transcendental meditation twice a day, 20 minutes. Jack, this goes to your point about you being so stressed lately. I like to start my day to minus 50,
Minus 50.
and
What do
then
you
I
mean
work
by
my way
that?
up to maybe to 50. So, like people wake up, they're already stressed at 100%. They're already at 80. They haven't even gotten out of the house yet. So,
Yeah,
so
good
the
point.
meditation allows me to start the day at a very low level of stress, even down below zero. And that's
Okay.
one of the most important. It's very interesting. Just like Jack and Keith, both very cerebral men. We need it more than anybody because it really helps
Okay.
your brain chemistry.
You gotta let the brain rest.
And
Yep.
and you know what the funniest thing is too is like usually when I wake up I'm not stressed whatsoever because that's like, and I even like taking naps for that reason because sometimes I wake up really early and I know I'm going to be going really late, so I'll take a midday nap. But there's that feeling when you originally wake up where you're kind of like you're just a little bit, you're kind of in another ozone almost. Like at least for me, I'm always very kooky and like kind of just giddy when I wake up in the morning. So I like that feeling. And that's why I take. Anyways, that's why Jack
The good
takes
thing
naps.
about
Keep going, Chris.
the
Good
good thing
story,
about doing
bro.
that is meditation is good because let's say we have a good 8 hours sleep, perfect sleep. Our body has regenerated, we've healed, but our brains worked overtime. So the reason why
Yeah.
you use this, it gets your brain to a womb-like state. It gets its electricity to the lowest hum, and it can check its dopamine and serotonin. So, because that's something that the brain doesn't do unless you're in a quiet mode. So even if you're not, even if you're not into the spiritual thing, having it to get your brain refreshed and healed, that's one of the best reasons why I do it. The next one is, if you must work weekends, try to take off Tuesday. That's always my advice. So try to have one day off. Why is Tuesday good? Stores are empty. You get your errands done. No one calls you on Tuesday to ask for favors. I never tell anyone that I'm off. Tuesday's a great day because no one thinks you're off.
Yeah,
Because if you're off Saturday and they know it, people are going to call you, right, Keith, to move a couch.
for sure. For
To move
sure.
a couch.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Been
that's
there.
true. So home buying. Remember, everyone. A lot of people could do work from home, remote work. Thinking about home buying. You just mentioned it before. So remember, we can go anywhere in the country and do remote work. So before you go from renting to buying, let's really analyze a lot of parts of the country that might have a better cost of living, right, and a better quality of life, and you can still work remotely from there. So don't always think you have to buy a house right where you grew up or right where you're renting. Um, I thought one thing we could do for single dads who are estranged from their kids, Jack. I get Instagrammed you wanting you to call me. What I think we should do is there are a lot of men who are estranged from their kids. We should give them an outlet to talk to their kids and say Merry Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say so.
For sure.
And the last thing is
Why not?
dating men. There's no way to prove consent. So so no matter what you do, there could be a false allegation against you, and you're going to jail. So there's no due process. Remember, an unfounded allegation with no proof can ruin your life.
For sure. It
Oh,
And that
happens
was
all the
my
time.
last. That was
all the
that
time.
that,
I know two.
that was my
I know,
last bullet.
of course. Thank you, Chris. And I have two people I know that have been falsely accused and did time.
Ooh,
It's and the only reason I know they've been falsely accused is because, like, bro, they're players. They don't have a hard time getting women. Like,
yeah,
they
they're not- yeah.
it's not their character. What happened was with the one guy, he and which sucks too, is there's a bunch of witnesses because I met the girl, a few other people we know met the girl, and but once she found out this guy was literally homeless, and he was a fun guy to hang out with, but he was a bum. He was literally homeless, and in California, being homeless, like, especially if you're young, he was younger, like 26, 27. So you could kind of look like you're not homeless. And, you go sleep on a couch one night, or he would get a girl and then live with her. And then, like, she'd be like, aren't you ever going to go home? And he's like, I figured I'd just stay here with you. And then usually they'd figure out, like, oh, this guy doesn't work. He's always asking me for money. Oh, okay. That makes sense now. But that's what happened is we come to a conclusion that, after he had sex with her a few times, she found out he was homeless, literally. And next thing you know, he's getting charged with the rape charge. But anyway, speaking of rape, this guy goes, did Jack's girlfriend start acting right? Jack might think about Thailand for a decompressor. Yeah, actually, the whole girlfriend situation where her parents and her godparents got mad at me for a video, basically to sum everything up. I get it. Not everyone's going to get my shtick. I understand. And, they also don't realize that I'm in entertainment. Right? So anyways, they got mad at me. She didn't even know what the video was even about. And I had taken it down because they were mad about the video. And then I showed her the video, but this whole time was during Thanksgiving. So she was with them this whole time. So I wasn't really able to talk to her, but it turned out she had my back the whole time. She stuck up for me. It wasn't like, and I was just out of the loop. So I wasn't sure. I'm like, oh, she's not answering my calls, and really she was just doing damage control because everyone was freaking out and they were all at the same house. So she's dealing with 4 people coming at her and she doesn't even know what the fuck the video's about or even what I said. And so anyways, everything's fine about that. It's all good. I haven't talked to the parents since Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I haven't, so I don't know what's going on with that, but me and her are fine. And, this isn't the first time in history that some woman's parents don't like you. So it's fine. They liked me plenty before they even saw any of the videos. So it's kind of like, I'm just whatever, man. They're going to think whatever they're going to think. And if they expect me to go get a real job, they're fucking smoking something. This guy goes, Jack, that joke you posted earlier today with your dad about being hard was so funny. Oh, yeah. Life can get hard and so can my penis. That just kind of came out. It's good. That's good. A good little bit. Oh, no. We got Risky Ricky over here. We got Yoli guacamole.
What's going on there?
Oh, this is a trip here. This is making the night. So, where are you hailing from? Oh, come on.
Austin, Texas.
Wow. We've got the first woman to ever come on the live stream tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Really?
Yeah, I've never, not one, because I got a good amount of female audience on here. So, Austin, Texas in the house.
Howdy.
All right. So, let me ask you a channel. Let me ask you a question. What brought you to this channel here? What lured you in?
I'll use my regular voice for this part. You were
Okay.
talking a lot about stress and burnout.
Yeah.
I am the mom of a special needs child.
Oh, wow.
So an accountant, and I like to help special needs families with reducing medical expenses. But this is an example of how I relieve my stress.
You're doing an awesome job. You have made I think it's safe to say everybody in here smiled when you popped on.
Well, thank you, darling.
You did a wonderful job. So that's awesome. So my cousin, he's full blown autistic, and I don't watch him anymore because he's in like a kind of like a permanent apartment place where it's like special needs kind of apartment. And my aunt, she's my fake aunt, so he's my fake cousin, but she's uber wealthy, so she can afford to pay for this. But I used to watch him all the time, and I gotta say, it's a trip. It's a trip. It's like seeing, because he was pretty bad. He's pretty autistic. He's not mild. He's never going to be able to fend for himself. That's for sure. But it's just crazy because when I'd have to take him places, especially to like his school, and he'd go to a special school, man, you get a dose of reality in those places. I mean, big time, like huge. So what do you think? Is this something you do full time?
Well, I try to do it full time, but it is, after about 15 years doing this, it's mostly a labor of love, talking with these parents and giving them advice. And some of that also, involves advice for preventing burnout. And I just tell them, this is not professional advice or from a therapist or anything, but, I just tell them what I do, how I prevent it. And hopefully they take my advice.
Well, that's awesome. I commend you. That's wonderful. And so with you, how old is your what do you have, a son or a daughter?
My son just turned 18.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So so is it like at the point where it's basically he's going to need full supervision for, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So,
it's been like that since the beginning when we found out at 18 months. We've tried all sorts of therapies. And, we were almost on the verge of bankruptcy because of course, the health insurance company wouldn't cover anything initially. So started using the credit cards, loans, but we got through it. But we're realistic. He is moderately to severely autistic. He's a very sweet boy. He cooperates. He can understand simple directions, but we're realistic. We understand he's going to need care for the rest of his life. So we're planning accordingly.
Yeah. Well, that's something well, my dad wasn't autistic or anything, but he definitely couldn't fend for himself. But for a long time, I worried. I was like, I don't know how I'm ever going to, because I can't do it forever. And, but like you're in a kind of opposite spot because technically I'm substantially younger. So he would more than likely pass away before me, but you're in the opposite spectrum. So do you guys have do you almost put your retirement, is like your idea of retirement more like retire him in some sort of fashion when you guys move onward, or like how do you go about that, if you
We've
don't
been
mind?
lucky. We have been very lucky. We do have enough funds to help him go into a home if he wants to, where he's going to stay at home for a while, and then probably in his mid-20s, we'll probably put him in a home with similar folks.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we are lucky
I have,
to enter.
I have a stepbrother. I have a stepbrother, and in his mid-20s, that's what we did. We've had a great group home with
Mhm.
other young men about his age, and he's still there for like 20 years now. So it's wonderful.
It is. I mean, people complain about Texas not being a friendly state for the disabled. That much is true. But in Austin, it's a different story. And we have quite a few options, and we're probably going to take one of those. But financially, we've been lucky. Now, the biggest stressor, I think, for these special needs families or anyone who's taking care of somebody is I can't really afford to not take care of him. Like
Yeah.
I don't have the money to get respite care or put
Oh
him
yeah,
at home. So I think money is the biggest issue. And because
most people don't have that luxury.
No.
Yeah,
exactly, and that's
and
what
that's
brings out the stress and the
oh yeah,
worry. Hmm.
and that's awesome that you're so, and like it sounds like it's not even just for him. You're like no, I'm in the community, and that's awesome because I've dealt with it with my cousin. His name's Jared, but his mom's uber loaded, you know, just generational wealth. And but there's another dude who I've known since he's a small kid, who's his best friend, who's also autistic, not as bad, but still to the point where it's. And thank you for the $2, Caleb. I appreciate that. But not as bad, so he could kind of work, like bagging groceries or something. But I don't know if it's going to be beyond that. But I know that his family, I have seen them in person we're at like a dinner, and his mom and dad, next thing you know, they are out loud stressing about money and all this. And we're at a dinner here, and it's just crazy to see that other side of it where it's like, because I've had so many people over the years with my dad go, dude, just go get him, just go put him in a place. And I'm sitting here going, like, I don't think you guys understand what you're telling me here. Did I mention he's broke?
It's expensive.
Did I mention this? Because it's for the senior citizens and stuff. Usually, like, let's say you're anybody in the chat, let's say you're getting an age where your parents getting super old and you might have to put them in a home. Guess what? Your parent probably owns a house and probably has Social Security and maybe even has some sort of a 401k. And they could cash all that in, sign it over, and boom, they're in a house. They're in a home. But there's a lot of people out here who don't have that. They don't. Most of us, a lot of people do not. And I commend you. That's awesome. I also commend you for coming on the stream in such a fashion. You definitely made me smile. That's for sure. And I bet you a hell of a job with the kids. That's for sure. If you're showing up dressed like that, they probably love you.
Oh, they absolutely hate it.
Oh, no, they don't. They hate it.
I have a 15-year-old girl, and she just rolls her eyes.
Oh, come on. Watch what happens when she's older. I bet you. Yeah, she's gonna be pulling out, doing some weird shit. Oh, I got you. This one goes, oh my God, the burnout is real with my autistic 3-year-old. Yeah, I can't even imagine, especially just having even just a kid who's functioning. Being short on money can stress anybody out. This one goes, no, I thought I saw something somewhere. Let me see. So, Yoli Guacamole. Also, thank you for the donation you donated. I saw that earlier today. I responded to you. I really appreciate that. It means a lot.
No problem.
I know you could be spending that on other people, and I really do appreciate that. But so what do you think's been like, because I'm sure you've experienced high levels of stress in the situation. What do you think was like the hardest for you? Like over the last 18 years here? Like, if you don't mind sharing with us.
Oh, absolutely not. I've told this to quite a few people. It was the initial diagnosis, being in that doctor's office, and afterwards, I felt like a little chunk of me died when I
Uh,
left that place. But what can you do? You got to pick yourself up. And the good news is, I had and still have a husband, in which I guess, in a way, we coordinate our sorrows together. We coordinate our battle plans together.
oh,
You got
wow.
you can't really look at it like a war, but you got to look at it as, yeah, you're going to struggle. You're going to go through some things that you never thought you would, but you've got to come out of it. You've got to come out of it stronger. But you got to find techniques to help you through this. With my background in taxation and accounting, I was able to get $30,000 back in medical expenses.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
that was a great stress reliever. And I thought to myself, well, I can't just keep this to myself. So I wrote a book about it. Then I
Oh,
started helping people. And it's kind of a two-way thing. It's not just relieving the stress out of the person I'm helping. I feel a great amount of joy and stress coming out of me when I help these people. It's
for
a good
sure.
feeling.
feel free to plug your book too. What's your book called?
Well, the problem is this.
Okay. No,
I've
no
got to
worries.
I got to publish it again because the tax laws change every year, and I have not revised it since 2018.
Okay.
But this is what I will do for anybody listening. I should have my contact info on my channel. Just talk to me. I'll be happy to give you info on that. And I'm probably going to start revising it the first week of January to reflect
Okay.
the new tax laws. So, but a lot of people don't understand how the tax laws work. And I'm sorry, there was a gentleman here who was CPA.
Yeah, Chris
Oh, hey
Whalen here
Chris,
is
how you doing?
he's been a CPA for a long time, owned his own business 30 years. He's kind of the internet guru of saving people money. You're gonna love the way
Right,
you look.
right.
Yeah.
What I did was I actually read the U.S. tax code when it came to medical and dental expenses, and it was very eye-opening because I realized that some holistic treatments are actually tax deductible, and a lot of people don't think they are. I remember helping this one woman where she used this, I think it was a naturopath or one of those alternative doctors, as you call them. And I said, well, let me take a look at your bills. And there was about $12,000 of bills for her. I think her son had a sensory deprivation disorder. And I said, well, you know what? You can deduct those. I said, was it for the treatment of his condition or to alleviate the condition? And she said, yes. And I said, well, look at what it says here. And we went through the IRS publication. And I said, that expense is deductible. And she said, okay, well, I'm going to amend my return. She emails me about 3 months later. She said, guess what? I got $6,000 extra because
Holy
Wow.
guacamole. Yeah, you know
that.
what? You know what's crazy is because I go to a private accountant and and I'm definitely going to be giving Chris a call. Sorry, I haven't, man. I just obviously I've by the title of the past two videos just been super stretched thin. But I go to a personal accountant, and like one of my really good friends, he didn't bother to go to accountant for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden, the IRS just took out a few grand out of his account. And I told him, I was like, dude, go to my guy, please, for the love of God. And some people, I'm just like, go to a private accountant, please. Like, they believe it or not, some people will help you either A, save money, or B, get a bunch back. Like, that's what you guys are for. So whenever I hear people like, I'm just going to use TurboTax, I'm like, dude, like, don't use TurboTax. Like, what are you doing? It's just crazy. Just how you said, 6 grand back. How many people, I'm sure a lot of people who watch my channel, I would like to assume you guys are pretty screws on pretty good. But there are. I've had a few people on my channel though have reached out to me for help, and it's just one of those things where it's like you could be getting back so much money by switching to Geico. It's not even funny, okay? And by switching to Geico, I mean getting a fucking accountant. Just do it. I don't care if you're not making a shit ton of money. Get a private accountant, because sometimes you could even get it all back. I could be mistaken. You guys tell me if I'm.
If I could interject, I think how many of us out there, they do their own taxes. They're worried about what happened before, what's coming. They're not sure. You guys are very sharp. You could do TurboTax, but the right CPA will give you peace of mind to let you go forward to make sure we've taken everything we can. It's in the right order. It's going to try to get past the algorithms. And we're going to also be here for questions. I talk to my clients more during the year. So, like a business owner like both of you guys are on the phone with me once a month, just asking me quick questions. So, if you don't have that, you're at a loss. That's where the value really comes in. I mean, I'm running over 1,000 clients' businesses every year. So everyone should take advantage of that experience.
Nope.
There's not much I haven't seen. So, and I don't nickel and dime for those calls. Anyone could text me, email me, call me, and I just give them advice over the phone, especially a subscriber to one of you gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys really should take advantage of that. And I'm definitely going to take advantage of Chris. Not literally like that, but you know what I mean. And this guy goes, I've got a serious burnout. Jamie here. Sorry if it's a guy or a girl, I'm not sure, or whatever you want to be. It's fine. I've got a serious burnout from my mom with Alzheimer's and my dad who's nonverbal after a stroke. Wow. I'm sorry about that, man. That's double whammy there. It's high level stress. Great show, Jack. Yeah, you know what, man? It's all I can really tell you on that one is you're going to have to figure it out as you go, and don't ever blame yourself. You can really only do the best you can, honestly. I mean, because I've sat there before saying I could do more. And the truth is you could really only do as much as you can do. So, I'm not a wizard with this stuff, but good luck with that. I'm really sorry to hear about that.
It's a hard one.
That just took a huge turn. Just go see a private accountant. It's going to fix all your needs.
And
And
I just want to give a little more advice about business owners, even side hustles. Try to have a separate account in your name for any side hustle or any business. People commingle their personal with their business. And why do I give this advice? The IRS is going to call you maybe someday and say, oh, show me your business statements.
Yep.
If you commingle everything, I have to show them everything. Right. So open up, you could have an Uber, DoorDash, have just a Chris Whalen checking account. Don't tell the bank it's for business. And so at least it segregates all the business income and expenses, makes it a lot easier to keep track of the expenses so we don't miss something at the end of the year.
Makes sense.
awesome. We got a new guy coming in here. Josh, what's up, Josh? Where are you hailing from and how old are you, brother?
What's up, man? I'm 31, and I'm from about 20 minutes outside of Nashville, Tennessee.
All right. We got a Tennessee bandit in here. 31. So how's life for you nowadays? Are you stress free? How's your stress levels been?
What, on a level 1 to 10?
I mean, it's just kind of what the topic's on. I'm just trying to kind of reel it back in.
Oh, I guess if I had to judge it between 1 to 10, I'd say 9.5.
So you're stressed.
A little bit, yeah.
So
I
you
guess
want to
you
go?
feel that.
You want to go ahead and vent it out into the void for us here?
I guess I could.
Why not?
I guess for the last couple of years, I've been in a hole I can't really get out of. It's hard to get out of. I don't have a vehicle right now, and I'm living at the house I grew up in. My dad died about 2013, and
Shit, I'm sorry about that.
I've been taking care of my mom. After my dad died, she kind of went a little nutty.
When my mom died, I actually did lose my mind for a couple of months, so I totally get that.
Yeah. It took a toll on me too, man.
I bet.
But I've been trying to watch out for my mom too, because she was a housewife her whole life, and whenever he died, she had to kind of take over his spot while I was working also. And since she was a housewife her whole life, she doesn't really know how to run the house like my dad did, and she's manic depressant and has a touch of schizophrenia. She doesn't hear voices, but she's very bipolar, and she doesn't, like I said, she doesn't know how to run the house like my dad did, so I have to help her make decisions. That's why I'm here helping her, because she's liable to get scammed on a phone call, you know. So I try to help her out with that. And right now, neither one of us have a vehicle, and
Well, that's not good.
yeah, yeah. And I live in, like I said, about 20 minutes outside of town, and that's 20 minutes outside of the outskirts. So um, I haven't had a job, like a steady job, in the last, I'd say, 3 years. I've had jobs where I go do things for maybe a week or two.
Like odd
Uh,
jobs.
yeah, odd jobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also a professional wrestler, so I do wrestle every now and then. I haven't done that in a couple years though,
Are you
because I don't have
pretty?
a ride.
You a pretty large guy? You talking like WWE stuff?
I'm not that big, but
Okay.
uh, it's more of like local and in the southeast and everything.
Well, I was only saying that because if you were trying to do that, I was like, that's big money. You solve all your problems. You get in, you make it big in that line of work.
See, that's the thing. My dad was a wrestler in the 80s and the early 90s, and he knew a promoter from back when he wrestled, and he got me into it when I was 16 and got me trained. He bought me a wrestling ring, and he got me into it. And I guess since I was so young, I didn't take it as serious as I should have. I had a lot of guys that worked for WWE and TNA and everything that I knew that would come to our shows and scout people. And they told me if I worked out, tanned, and stayed with it, that I could get a job at one of the big companies. And I guess I never took it seriously. And
Well,
then my dad
you
died
learn.
when I was 21, so that kind of derailed that for a while.
Yeah, that you know what? I've seen it like even with myself, even though I lost my mom at 30, a little bit older, thank God. Because if I was 20, I probably really would have lost it. But
Yeah.
like my cousin, who's my best friend, his mom died at 16 when he was 16, and it was like, forget it. It was like it took him nearly a decade. He's fine now, totally fine. I can't wait for him to hop on the stream. He's one of my best friends. But like, yeah, it's just crazy when you lose a parent young. It really, it really can just mess people up so hard. But you say you're a wrestler, and I think what you need right now. I'm not saying this is easy, but if you could just lock down a steady, just a job in general, and just wrestle your way out of this situation, man. If anybody else, Chris, you want to jump in?
Yeah.
Keith, you want to
Well,
jump in on
I
this
like
one?
I said a few weeks ago, all the major tax systems, H&R Block, Liberty Tax, TurboTax, they need remote working call center type people. No need to leave your house. So they'll give you H&R Block will even give you free training. You pay $100 for the books. So you could be actually a call center person remotely in your living room. They need many of these. It might only be for a couple of months at the end of April, but everyone should go online. H&R Block has a whole website just for this, just for applying for these jobs. But all the majors need it. Liberty Tax, TurboTax, H&R Block. There's something called CCH, big firm. So if you have a computer home with a microphone, you don't need a screen. It's something where they'll get you trained pretty quick, and you can start getting paid in January 1.
So, Josh, let me ask you a question too. Like, are you scared to leave your mom home alone? Is that an issue?
I mean, not as having a job, no. I do feel like if I moved out, then I would have to keep tabs on her. I have an older sister. I'm 31. My older sister's 38, but she doesn't come around a lot. My mom stays in contact with her, but she doesn't come around a lot. She lives about 30 minutes away, and she has her own life. That's kind of why I don't have a vehicle right now myself, because I'd say it was about 2017. She had a job, and I just got laid off from a job. And the reason I got laid off was because of my vehicle. I needed a belt had popped. I needed the belt fixed and replaced. She told my mom that if I would let her use my vehicle, she would get the part for it, have it fixed. She could drive it for a couple weeks, and then she would be able to have enough money to get her own car and give it back. She ended up fixing it, keeping it for about 2 months, and then drove the transmission out of it. Drove it home in reverse from town to her house, let it sit in her driveway for about 3 months, and she junked it and kept the money. So that put me in a hole with the vehicle. So then that left us with just my mother's vehicle, and I would have to take her back and forth to her job. And then around that time, I got a roofing job, so I would have to take her to work, go to the roofing job, get off, and then pick her up if I got off early enough.
All right.
And
Well,
then,
let me say, not to cut you off, but
oh yeah.
so you said you're near Nashville, right?
Yeah, I'm about 20, 25 minutes away from downtown.
Okay. You don't have a car.
No.
Do they have a
Get some wheels, man.
yeah, do they have a decent busing system there?
In town they have, I think, MTA buses, but they don't come out this far.
All right. Would you say you're pretty, you're pretty in shape, or like you're pretty fit?
Yeah, I'm pretty fit.
I'm going somewhere with this. So,
Okay.
if I were you, man, I know Nashville's popping off. As somebody who bartended a long time, if you could get in at a good bar, I'm not saying be a bartender. I'm saying if you could go get a good bar back spot, I'm saying you go lock down the best 10 bars in Nashville. I'm talking late night, cracking off, popping bars. And you can get a bar back position, you change your whole financial situation. That's like a kind of an in where you don't really need the skill set. It's pretty simple, train you on the job type deal. Because I've worked at several bars where the bar backs are making $1,000, $1,500 a week. You're going to be working 4 or 5 nights a week, but you'll make, in your situation, life altering money. But it sounds like you need to get on the burn yourself out plan for about a year, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to do. I think that's what's going to get you out of the hole, man. You ever heard there's like that expression where it's like just bury yourself with work.
Yeah.
It's probably not the healthiest thing, but I think in your situation, you might, if you could just lock something down and just bury yourself with work for a while.
Josh, what about getting a car with your tax return?
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, I haven't had a full steady job for a couple years now, so I don't have a tax return. I would do like I've been doing for the past couple years, odd jobs and everything. But the only time I can get out of the house, literally, to go anywhere to a job is if the person I know picks me up.
Yeah,
so
that's a tough one to do.
I have a buddy that does excavating and everything. My dad worked for his dad, so I've known him my whole life. And every now and then he'll give me a job to do, and we'll work a few days. But he has his own crew and everything, so that's not very reliable.
Yeah.
Well, why not?
Gotta get
Why
some
don't
wheels, man. That's important. Wheels really open up a lot of opportunity for jobs and everything. And
Yeah.
the one thing I say about that is, even if you're not very mechanically inclined, I love working on cars. And I consider myself a very good mechanic, and I still end up on YouTube a lot looking up videos on how to fix things. So this day and age, you get yourself a cheap car that needs some work done to it, and you jump on YouTube and figure it out. I don't know if you got a Harbor Freight around you or something of that nature, but you get a nice, decent set of tools that will do all the basics you need for $100. And wheels are important, man. It really, like I said, that really changes the opportunities that you can go after when you have a nice set of wheels. Just a set of wheels.
The thing is, the way my mom gets to the store is her brother-in-law, who's quite a bit older than her. He's in his late 70s, but hold on, sorry, cat fight. Anyways, he's in his late 70s, and he'll take her to the store, but I'm not allowed in his car because I know this sounds weird, but he was married to my mom's sister, and she died about 2009 or so. And this guy, which is her brother-in-law, tries to tell her he's in love with her and flirt with her, and she doesn't like it. She tells me it makes her uncomfortable. So I told him that before, and now I'm not allowed in his vehicle. So I don't really get to leave the house at all. unless I do have a job and somebody comes to pick me up. So I've been at the house 3 or 4 months at a time without even going to the store.
And let me interject there. There's a few Amazon fulfillment centers. There's a lot of people there that could carpool with you possibly, that are coming from the outskirts too. So there's a few Amazon locations right there in Nashville, might be close to you. They're always looking for people, even if it's a
Get an
stopgap
electric
thing for 3 or
scooter.
4 months.
Yeah, and real quick, Michael Dunn, thanks for the $10. I just put the link in the chat. It says StreamYard. It looks like a weird link. That's what that is. And Tony Armstrong, thanks for the $20. I really appreciate you. Tony's been here since the very beginning. I really appreciate that. Yeah, dude. I mean, Josh, it seems like right now, man. Is there anything nearby you? A gas station, a Walgreens, anything?
Yeah, there's a gas station about, if you're driving, I'd say it takes about 10, 15 minutes to get to. Like, I live in the backwoods and there's a lot of hills and everything. So if I were to walk there, it would probably take about an hour to walk there.
What about a bicycle? What about a bicycle?
If I had one, I would use it.
Okay,
but I don't have a bicycle.
Man.
All right, we need to get this guy a fucking bike. Okay,
dude, I don't have a way at all, man.
Okay, hypothetically speaking, if you had a bike, okay, would you be willing to ride that bike to work?
Yeah, I'd be able to ride it to it. At least I'd be able to ride it to a gas station or somewhere around here. I'd say there's 2 gas stations that way behind me. And there's probably, if I were to go that way, I know you're that way. I don't know if it's north, south, east, or west, but that direction from me now, there's more stores and everything. There's head shops, gas stations and everything I could work at. But like I said, I can't. The guy won't give me a ride.
Listen, call them all. Call them all, especially a gas station opening early. A lot of times the owner can pick you up on their way in just to, to take 10 minutes out of the way. So I would call all those businesses, express your problem with transportation right now and say you'd love to come work when the store opens, and if someone could give you a lift temporarily.
Yep.
You'll be shocked how people would love to do that just to get an able-bodied, trustworthy person in there.
Yep. If you work hard and you prove yourself, I mean, I'm a contractor. I've worked in excavating. I've worked with concrete crews, and I understand that it's hard to get people, good working people. And I've worked with guys that need picked up every day and that need that, they're in that tough spot. You gotta, if you work hard and you prove yourself, these guys will pick you up every day. They're looking for strong, hard workers that will actually come in and put in a good day's work. I promise you, man, if you can get in with you and you call them up and just be like, listen, be real with them. Look, man, I'm in a tough spot. I need picked up, but I'll work my ass off for you. I'll do whatever you need me to do gladly, and you just got to put that time in.
Sometimes you just got to, you're going to, like Josh, I hate to tell you this, but you're going to have to eat some serious shit for just a little bit. By a little bit, I mean a year or so.
Get your wheels, get moving.
Yeah, get some wheels and just kind of make a game plan. And, let me put it to you this way. My dad, I started paying for him probably around 23, 24 years old to his little trailer he lived in. The roles got reversed. And, I said, I'm moving to California. And, you know what the fuck I did? I brought his ass with me. I said, you're coming. Let's go. You're on the couch. And sometimes you gotta do that. Right now, you got to figure out how the shit am I going to get a job? How am I going to get there? Am I willing to walk? Am I willing to go get a bicycle somehow? That's really all you're going to have to do, man. And we're all rooting for you, but you're going to have to do this eventually anyway.
You got to want it.
The sooner, the better. I would love to hear from you a year from now and you're like, yeah, I got myself a truck. I'm fucking worked at this stupid place I didn't care for. And I'm totally, because that's all it really takes. 1 year, 1 to 2 years, your life can be totally, and it goes both directions. You could go from on top of the world to the bottom, or you can go from the bottom to the top, which the cool thing is you're already what seems like you're at this all-time low. So there's really, I mean, unless you want to go even further down, which I don't think you do, you're just
No.
you're gonna have to figure out, man. Like, I don't get it. I was gonna say get a
Dude, if I-
horse. That would be expensive.
Well, if I had a
Well,
bike,
listen, I
it
just
would
posted.
help, you know
I
what I'm
just posted a link to a general contractor search in Nashville. So it's right in the private
Okay.
chat for people in StreamYard. So click on that link, print that out, start dialing for dollars first thing in the morning.
Yep.
All right, real quick, we got a new guy in here. Caleb, what's going on, brother? Where you hailing from?
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, we could hear you, loud and clear.
Oh, hey, I'm living in Plant City right now, Florida.
Oh,
So I
Plant
thought I'd reach out
City.
since everybody's from Florida.
All right, we got another Florida boy in here. Where exactly is that? Is that South Florida? That North Florida? West
It's
Florida?
mid Florida. It's near Tampa.
Okay, Tampa area. Gotcha. So, what's up with you, brother? How's your stress levels lately, Ben?
I kind of fluctuate, honestly, but I stay at a good 5. I think it's pretty healthy, but I have my moments, man, where it's just super bad. But things have gotten a lot better over the years.
Yeah, if you don't mind me
So-
asking, how old are you, and what are you doing to acquire dollar bills nowadays?
32. I get right now. I work for like a water softener company. I used to install them. Now I just kind of repair them and do like salt delivery. I don't know if anybody knows what a water softener is.
Yeah, no, it is.
But yeah, I do that. I was in the Army. I moved to Florida back in 2018 when I got out. So just been here ever since. So I know a lot about burnout from the Army. I got some stories that we could go.
What's that? Hey, Josh, I'm gonna get you out of here, brother. But we're going to hit me up on Instagram, and
Okay.
even if we have to, maybe we could do maybe one of these live streams coming up. We'll do one, and we'll do it the Huffy Fund for Josh and get him a goddamn Schwinn. And we're rooting for you, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're gonna have to hike through that woods, buddy. You're gonna have to get that money. Yeah, mama needs it. You need it. And hey, we're rooting for you, brother. And really appreciate you coming on here and sharing that. It's not easy to do. But just hit me up on Instagram.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no worries, brother.
Hey, Jack.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a bounce, brother. I gotta go.
Later, Keith. Appreciate you, brother.
Nice talking to everybody. Chris, it was good seeing you as well. Everybody in the chat. It was a really good conversation going on. So definitely, I'm gonna start just randomly popping into these throughout your week.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, let's get Keith's channel back up and monetized. And even if he only shows up when he feels like it, he's gonna bless us with his presence. Keith, get the hell out of here, man. Go enjoy your night, brother.
It was very nice talking to y'all.
Later, Keith. All right. Yeah. So, Magic Meat Bag, I'm going to need you to shut off your external monitor thingy thing. And thanks for the 5. Not Magic Meat Bag. My bad. Mike, I'm going to need you to shut off your.
You know a lot about burnout.
You got to shut off the speakers. It's fine. We're going to get it. Thanks for the $5. Jackson Cagle, what's up, brother? Coming in hot. Five big ones from downtown. Really appreciate that. All right, so Caleb, back to you, brother, real quick. So, how long were you in the Army for?
Well, I did my 3 years. So I joined back in 2015. So I grew up in West Virginia. So I was trying to get out. If you don't know anything about West Virginia, it's just kind of like a pit. So I joined and I went to airborne school. I was supposed to be stationed in Fort Bragg. I got stationed in Fort Wainwright, Alaska. So it was like completely opposite. It was the one place I didn't want to go, man. And I went up there and it was just a brutal time. It was basically, I learned a lot about how money plays a huge factor in the Army that I didn't really comprehend at the time when I joined. But if you don't have if you don't have money going to the unit, you don't really have a purpose. when you don't have a purpose, your life becomes like super. It's almost like you're on house arrest. Like some of the games they play.
Wait, so let me hold on. I'm trying to understand this. So what do you mean if you don't have money coming into the unit? Like, what does that mean? Like if you don't have like a special job or something in the Army?
No, like, so the whole unit, like the whole post, right?
Yeah.
The whole post didn't get like normal unit funding for like years. They had something happen at a previous deployment, so they kind of deemed that whole place like, I don't want to say useless, but not like very important. So
okay, I gotcha.
I don't know why. Towards my end of my enlistment, it took the Secretary of the Army came and he talked to like a group of random people, and he even asked, he was like, "What is the purpose of this place? Like, you guys don't get any money." Like, yeah, it was really. So talk about burnout, man. Like, some of the things, I was artillery, right? So you're always consistently lifting heavy. Artillery life is kind of, it's you know, you're basically living in the back. When you go to the field and you train, you basically live in the back of a glorified U-Haul LMTV. It's a 5-ton vehicle. You got to live in the back.
Basically van life, but with guns and stuff.
Yeah, you're pulling a $500,000 Hauser cannon.
I got you. Oh, real quick, sorry to interrupt. Hey, Black Cad, every time you come to join in, it's not that I'm not putting you on. It's telling me your device won't connect for some reason. So don't think that I'm ignoring you. It's just literally something's up on either your end or my end, but I'll keep dropping the link for you, brother. All right. So anyways, back to this crazy Army stuff going on. Cause I've never been to the Army. I've never even been on an Army base. So keep it coming.
Man, it was just a crazy experience. Like I said, basically I was artillery. When you're training, you basically live in a glorified U-Haul. You've got to emplace that Hauser in Alaskan territory. And sometimes, man, that ground can be so hard. They expected us to dig in permafrost. I literally got videos of us digging for like, I think we dug for like an hour trying to like emplace a Hauser. But I mean, everybody's experience is different. I don't want to come off negative, but that was my experience. But it was
your experience was not good.
Yeah. Yeah, it really burnt me out because I think I came in with some expectations too. Like I was really motivated.
Do you think you were like gonna go overseas and like you're gonna go see all this stuff?
I thought if I just gave my best, like I could go places and I could have opportunities and do things. I scored pretty high on my PT tests. Like I did everything I was supposed to do. The one thing that I did do that was kind of negative was I complained a lot. So that kind of not very good. You don't really sit in well with the,
nobody likes someone who bitches all the time.
Yeah.
Unless it's funny bitching, where it's like,
yeah,
it's like,
it kind of
oh
was.
Man,
like,
I just fucking stepped on a shotgun shell. My dick hurts, and the guy's like, oh, he's hilarious.
What year did you enlist?
Joined in 2015.
And when did you ETS?
2018, November.
So you did 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you save any of your medical? I was in the military too. I don't know if.
Yeah, I'm good now. Yeah, I got the I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I got it.
Are you trying to fight for your increase? It's a hard struggle, man. You got to have a damn college degree for it, but you got to keep on going.
It's a tough subject. I mean, I went in there. It's such a weird thing. It's such a weird So I was told by a lot of veterans, like, hey, you need to do this, that, and the other. So I have people coaching me, but honestly, I came in with the mindset of I'm just gonna be honest and go in there and say this is what's wrong with me. This is what I'm going through. Because I didn't want to lie or anything like that. But I got what I think is appropriate. So I'm sitting at like 70.
All right. So let me ask you real quick. Sorry. Okay. So we got Jonathan here. Jonathan, since you already talked, so we'll just go to you. And then Mike, I'm sorry, I'll go to you after that. So Jonathan, how old are you and where are you hailing from, brother?
Oh, I'm 39 and I live in Texas right now, but I'm going to be moving soon. I got some land in Kentucky. I don't know whether I want to sell or not. I was told by some friends to keep it for as long as possible, but
I would, if you can afford the property tax on it, I would keep it.
you know how much my property tax is in Kentucky for 12 acres?
$7.
It was 50. It was $60.
$60,
$60 for property tax.
bro. You better hold on to that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
part of
for
Kentucky?
sure.
I
I mean,
put
unless if you can't spare $60 a year,
well, the thing is, man,
something's wrong. You and Josh need to go be roommates.
well, the thing is if
I'm just
property
kidding,
goes,
Josh.
if property gets so expensive, how is somebody going to be able to afford it if I want to sell it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you own the land, you can dictate the cost.
Right.
If I wanted, real quick, if I wanted to, I could give my house away.
It's true.
You're still going to have to pay the government property tax and the HOA, but I could literally sign over my house any amount I want.
Yeah, and for the guy was in the military, do you realize, dude, getting a loan with a government stipend each month, how much that helps you to get a home loan or a land loan?
Oh yeah, I got a house. I was because
Okay.
I got that,
Oh,
we were able to get a house.
Caleb's like, oh yeah, I got a crib, dude.
All right.
Hold on, I didn't have like, so basically what we're talking about is like they call it VA disability, right? It doesn't affect you working. You can get it like based on whatever you medically the records reflect when you were in. I kind of put it off, man. I was prideful. Like I was like, I don't need it.
I was too, dude. I came back from Ramadi in 2000. After 2005, I was in Ramadi with Third ID at Fort Benning on Kelly Hill, and I pushed off getting my disability for 10 years, dude. Working at a factory for 7 days a week for a whole year, doing bullshit jobs, dude. And I was prideful, and I wish I would have gotten it started as soon as I got now.
Yeah.
I'd have been able
Wow.
to stay.
Real quick, thanks for the $5, brother. I really appreciate that, man. Okay, so Jonathan, so you were in the Army for how long?
I was in active duty for 3 years, and then I got out for a year or two, and then I went in the National Guard for 6 years, and I've been deployed twice.
Oh wow. Okay, so you're fully out now.
Oh yeah, I ain't no way I'm going to go back and be an order following pet for the New World Order. No way.
Okay, yeah, no, I trust me, I totally get it. I mean, you got the inside scoop. I think I had the outside scoop. I was already like,
You're smart.
Yeah, I was like, I'm fine. I could go buy a gun up the street. I'm cool. I could get camo pants down at the thrift shop. I'll play pretend. But not that I don't like, I'm all about it. Like anytime somebody's like, I'm in the Army, the military, the Navy, I always do the classic thing. And it's like, dude, it takes some balls. Like it like for real, you might go to war, like legit, like you're taking a risk. But let me ask you guys a question. I think a lot of people in here are wondering what's like the average pay? Like, what do you guys even get paid to be in the National Guard, for instance? Like, what do they pay you for that?
It depends on what year you were in. If you were in 10 years ago, it's a whole lot different than now. So his response would be a whole lot better than mine because he was more recently in on pay rates.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on location too. Like when I was in Alaska, they pay you a little bit more because they base it on the location and all that. I think Hawaii, you make the most money.
Yeah, and you're airborne, so you got airborne pay. But on a whole, I think is it around like so E1, you get what, like $1,200 a month?
$1,200 a month.
Well, I didn't get to go to an airborne unit, even though I passed airborne school.
Yeah, I went to airborne school too.
All right, well, let's get down to brass tacks here. What in the shit were you guys making? I'm curious. No one ever answers this question.
Yeah. Well, you can look it up. Let's look it up real quick. You just type in BAH.
All right, look it up. I'm going to answer this guy's question. And
I think I was making.
Let me get to Mike real quick. Hold on.
I'll tell you real quick, bro.
I'm curious. How much a month?
Yeah,
like
come on, Mike.
Give me like 5 to 7, 5
Thank
to
you,
8.
Mike. Jesus.
Yeah,
There we go.
So take it in consideration. I was in Alaska. They pay you like $300 more. I was making probably $1,100 every 2 weeks.
Oh, that's not too. That's
So
that's
it was okay.
that's not bad.
Do they pay for everything else? Food,
Like
Yeah.
room and board.
So yeah, they
How
pay
much
for,
are you
so if
really
you're lucky.
working though? In those 2 weeks, how much do you
Oh,
work?
man.
Like, you
If
know,
you'd call it
work.
food.
I'm not talking about staying around.
It depends
joking
on your
with
unit.
buddies.
It depends on where you're stationed. Depends on your MOS. You could if you're infantry, like I was, you're going to be mopping floors and doing details and filling trash bags.
Yeah.
But for how
Picking
long?
up cigarette
Because I've
butts
done
at
this,
the end of the day.
not for the military, but it's like we joke around a lot when we're doing
So
those jobs.
I mean, so my day started. I woke up at, depends on your NCO too. So I woke up about 5:30 in the morning. Got ready for room inspection. This was at the unit, by the way. Got ready for room inspection about 5:45. You got to be down at the they call it the CP at 6, and then colors go off at 6:30. Then you're doing PT. Then you get done with PT about 7:45, maybe 8 o'clock. Go take a shower, go grab some food. You're at the motor pool as soon as possible. Potentially 9
motor
o'clock
pool,
usually.
Dude, motor pools suck.
Yeah.
All right, so let me okay, so army stuff aside, so basically you get paid like shit, and it looks like the only real good thing is the benefits, basically, is what
If I had to say one
Can I
thing,
ask-
you're probably going to work 60 hours a week and you get paid that
Okay.
much.
Yeah.
But are the
Okay,
benefits
so-
worth it long term?
If you
Yeah,
deploy,
yeah.
if you deploy overseas and go to combat, it helps more than guys who haven't. But that's why you get annotate all your medical records, and actually, if you get injured, you want to have that annotated. But going to overseas to combat like I was in 2005 at its height, you're probably going to get more of a green light for disability compared to guys that were in after the war and didn't go overseas. It's just how it is.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question? So
Yeah.
when you're you're taking about 1,200 home every 2 weeks, right? But they give you food and board. How much do you actually save? How much could you save? Like, right, with basic stuff you're just gonna buy generally while you're out there.
You save more on deployments because you're not around anybody, so you're able to stack a lot more money. But it's gonna be hard because every weekend you're gonna go out and drink with your friends because it's something to do, or if you're living around a college town. But for the most part, you are able to save, but it's really tough because your influence of everybody's gonna drink. It's just what it is. You're gonna blow a lot of money on weekends. Yeah.
All right.
One thing too, they take money out of your paycheck for food, right? But sometimes you're not able to go to the defect in time, like the defects, like the chow hall. So you end up having to buy food yourself. So you're
basically still paying for food. But anyways, okay, Mike, I haven't even gotten to you yet. You're just this guy charismatic man who just jumped in here. Mike, how old are you? Where are you hailing from, brother?
About to be 36, and I'm from Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, all right. Cincinnati Slim in the building.
No, Columbus.
Well,
the capital.
I don't know. Cincinnati Slim just sounded good.
They're like an hour from us.
I couldn't think of anything with Columbus. So
there's nothing.
Well, it's awesome, man. So the way you didn't go to the army or the military?
No, I wanted to.
Okay, you wanted to.
Couldn't do it. The recruiter even told me, like, he'll lie, but like I hurt my foot. I really bad, tore tendon, cartilage, and he's like, we can lie about all that. But if you can't make it through basic, you won't get any medical.
Yeah.
And
okay.
So he wasn't even pushy about it. He just called me on the phone.
If you did 6 months, you get your medical. That's the thing they don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No. He told me that. He was not pushy. He was straight up. He was like, yo, you got to make it though. They're going to make you run. And if you hurt it and they find out, you'll just get, washed and like,
All right. So Mike, what are you doing for dollar bills nowadays? What's your stick?
Oh, I run a landscaping business with my buddy from middle school.
Oh, nice. Fuck yeah.
Yes.
You guys killing it or what?
So I worked as a network IT trainer at Spectrum. And then I was like, I don't want to do this.
You're like, I'm gonna go cut that grass, boy.
Have you ever seen The Office? You know the movie The Office with
What the
Office
movie?
Space. Office Space.
Office Space, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know how the end he's working construction and he's just happy as a clam. Yeah. So,
That's you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did that this year. And then so we have so much business now, we have to like almost turn people down or charge them like 3 times the amount. And sometimes they'll accept. And then yeah, we do everything but cut your grass. So I don't want to be in that little financial game of like, we'll cut your grass for $50 less a month. No, I'll do everything but cut your grass.
Oh, so you do a lot of the. So what do you do? Like a lot of the hard stuff, like hedges and all that crap, or how does that work?
Yeah, landscape design. People will be like, I got $3,000. I don't know what to do with this yard, and then so I'm like,
you handle your yard.
Bed out. Yeah, we plant stuff. Yeah, stuff like that.
That's awesome. So you said you've been doing it a year now.
Well, I've been doing it part-time. So I do it on my days off with him for the last 4 years. He was an EMT for like 15 years, and then he didn't want to do his job anymore. So he quit and started doing this on his days off, and then I would help him. And then I was like, screw it. I'm just going to leave my corporate job and just do this.
How much happier are you now?
Well, there's that burnout you're talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Especially when you're doing physical labor, like you guys are doing, like in the Army and stuff, like it really hits you after like 6 months of just every day, but a lot happier. So I don't have the worry. Like if I hurt myself, I can just go back, but like I don't have to worry about that day-to-day inner office politics.
So you said you said how old were you? 36, you say?
About to be. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So 35.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome because, a lot of people get, they're like scared to switch careers or try something new, even if they hate their job.
Yeah.
And that's awesome that you did it because some people are like, they're stuck and they're like afraid to go do something different. So that's awesome because you actually said stuff it and you went with it. And now according to you're as happy as a clam, whatever that even means. But I'm stoked for you.
I wouldn't put it that way. No, because I wasn't watching your long form videos, so it's definitely happy as a clam. It's just that everything could be worse, but it's going pretty good. So like I wanted to ask. So like, all right, when you were in the Army though, like I know there's parts of it that suck, right? Or people get out and they're like, oh, this artillery position didn't teach me to do a normal job, but like you gotta learn something, right? So like I learned something from my call center job, which is just dealing with people who are kind of unreasonable, right? So like what did you think was the best experience coming out of like the Army that you learned like that you can use every day to make stuff easier?
You want to go
Keith,
first?
You want to go first?
I'll go.
Yeah, okay.
First thing I learned is that civilians don't give a fuck that you served your country. Be honest with you, they don't care.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
they don't.
That's that, and as soon as you are able to devour that humble pie and then use your ethos of not calling out of work, going to work when you're sick, and having gratitude, that's probably the only thing that helps. I can say that civilian jobs. For guys like you that have your own business and for guys that were in the military, I have more respect for guys like you that have your own business, man, because it's brutal out there in the civilian.
It's a war out in these streets. This money game, boy. Real quick though, I wanted to answer this guy. He's talking about this rapper called Suave Smooth. I actually know exactly what he's talking about. There was this crazy time. We'll backtrack to what we were just saying, but this rapper, there's a song called Gangsters and Thugs. And this came out like, oh man, nearly 2 decades ago now. But they used to put out these DVDs called the Gangsters and Thugs DVDs, where it was like Jackass, but for thugs. So they would literally film each other go and just jump a random person, just beat the shit out of them, guns and all. And they would record all. You could find this on YouTube now. They have it out now on YouTube. But this guy Suave Smooth, they played his rap song as like their theme song, and it was like the gangsters and the thugs, and then they'd have like montages of just people getting the shit beat out of them. dude, honestly, if you want some entertainment, just type in gangsters and thugs Palm Beach on the internet, and you'll be like, wow, this happened. But the only thing bad about that was they incriminated themselves, and I think all of them either got killed or they're all in prison. So, but I will say it was definitely entertaining. I will say that. Sorry, I just had to answer that because I haven't thought about Suave Smooth in, I don't know, 15 years. Anyways, we got this gentleman in here. What's going on, brother? Where are you hailing from, and how old are you, my man?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Well, we loud and clear.
Sorry, it's coming out of a cold,
It's all good, man. Let it out.
Stuff. But yeah, I'm from Virginia, and I am 38 years old.
All right. Yeah. So today's topic from the title. How's your stress levels nowadays? You doing pretty good, or on a 1 to 10?
Oh
10
yeah, definitely. It's been better. Could have been much better. I mean, it's a whole lot better than last year's. I've quit drinking. I think 10 months ago.
Hey, congratulations,
So
man!
All that
big deal, dude.
All that crazy shit that I've been like feeling. Last year, like all the, just the.
How bad in were you? If you don't mind,
Oh, it was
like
like
a little bit. How bad was the drinking?
It was like a fifth of vodka, like a day.
What's that like that?
Yeah.
Or is that like that? Or is that one like this?
The skinny one, like that one.
Oh, yeah. So it's pretty. Okay, so it's not the liter. It's like the half liter or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. So a day.
Yeah, it got to a day, and it was just like I got the crazy shakes and all that stuff, man.
Really? How? Okay,
Yeah.
so no, because you know what? My mom died from her liver failed, alcohol. And my dad his main shtick was pills, but my dad was one of those assholes who used to carry around a briefcase. He was that guy, even though he was in blue collar work, which was the funniest part. He carry a fucking briefcase, but he's doing blue collar work. It was the oddest thing. But in his briefcase, he would carry a fifth of vodka and all his pills and everything. But yeah, I know. So I'm kind of familiar with I've had it directly in my life. So like, if you don't mind being real, how many years were you at this? And was it at the point where would you start early in the day, or were you like a nighttime warrior, or like?
I'd usually start after work, after coming home, it's, just get the party started, you know what I'm saying? Like coming home, looking for anything to drink. That's about it. And then
so you didn't drink on the job?
No, I didn't drink on the job, but I do have like crazy hangovers. But it was.
But you were never tempted like on a hangover, because one of my best friends, he's sober now, but like he got to the point where he would just wake up hungover, just crack a couple packs.
Pretty much, just like you drink just to like get the shakes, you know what I'm saying? Get it off.
Even it out. Get an even keel going.
But yeah, no, I mean, life is so much better now. I've been 10 months sober. I've been working out. I have a good job,
That's awesome, man.
That's great, man. Like,
it's not easy to do.
At all.
How did you decide to go? Did you just stop? Or did you go cold turkey, or did you eat rest into it, or what? What was your decision?
I just decided to go to rehab.
Oh, so you did the whole 9.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
So you know what though? Well, yeah, we're still friends. So I was gonna say one of my friends, we're not friends anymore. But another one of my friends, he did rehab twice. I mean, this was years ago. It's almost a decade now, because he's 35 now. But when he was 25 or 24, he went to rehab. Then he relapsed, and then he went back to rehab. So why don't you, like, if you don't mind, can you walk us through how that went? Like, how long did you go, and what was like that process? Like, give us paint it for us.
Yeah. So my life was pretty much like unbearable. Like I had like paranoia. I I had depression. I had anxiety, and I had all these stress in my life, and in order to smooth it out, I was just downing on bottles. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of
I get it. I woke up with a couple of neck tattoos from getting
yeah,
blacked
but
out.
the thing is, it's a temporary fix, so it's not like a permanent fix. So I had to do something else, and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of being miserable. I'm tired of always being sick and tired of being just hungover and coming to work and people like looking at you sideways and shit.
Yeah,
And
you,
I
well,
think
you
like my family and coworkers, they all knew. So
were your family pretty supportive though?
oh yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
Yeah, because I noticed because I never really had the drinking thing. I only did for like maybe 3 months after my mom passed away. That was about the extent of my alcoholism because I'm not a big drinker and I kind of know better. Oh, I still fucked up and did it anyways. But I did realize because I didn't go to AA meetings because I was addicted to alcohol. Like I quit it easy. I didn't really get that thing. I was just trying to kind of, I don't want to say I was trying to kill myself because that's not what I was doing. It was more just
oh yeah.
I felt like everything was over with. It
Right.
was like
Yeah.
my dad's out of it. He's mentally gone. And then my mom's passed away. And then I wasn't anywhere in a career. I felt like I just,
yeah.
so I just was just anything to forget. But,
Yeah.
but the worst part is like you wake up and then it's right there. And then you feel like shit. And then it's still right there in front of you.
Yeah.
So what was the rehab like? Was that like a full 30 day extravaganza?
Yeah, it was a 30-day rehab. Got a lot of tools, a lot of references, resources, and it's pretty much the whole thing now for me is just like I have to like do it like a discipline, discipline my mind and say, hey, don't pick up a bottle. That's it.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
that simple. I had that problem. To be real with you, I quit cigarettes quite a while ago, but cigarettes was like my alcohol compared to an alcoholic, or like, any other drug to any other person. Cigarettes was my demise. And I'm not going to front. A few days ago, I bought a fucking pack and I chugged them down. It was almost like I never quit. Yeah. Like I never quit. Just cheat, just all the way.
So can I ask a question? Can I ask a quick question? Okay, so I'm sure most of us have been through that, temporary addiction or hardcore addiction, right? So what was the first thing you did to start distracting yourself? So for me, it was walks, right? I just started going on a walk every day. Right. No matter what, I was just like, even if I, did whatever, I'm going to go for a walk. So I was just curious, like, how did you guys kind of get over that? Like starting.
So for cigarettes, I didn't. I just went to this, and it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is I rarely smoke weed. Once in a great while, I hardly drink. Maybe once every 2 months, once a month. If me and my chick go out to dinner, I'll get a wine or something. So for me, it was like I'm just holding on to this party. I'm holding on to the past. That's really all it is. And I come to the conclusion that one of these days I'm just going to have to, it's just going to have to happen. And I know it's coming. It's coming any day. But that's all I did was trade mine in for another. And it's still not, I'm just like taking little stepping stones. I fucked up recently. I'm not going to lie. I did. I messed up. And we all have our own triggers, it's my mom's birthday. She's dead. Things happen. And then, shit gets intense over here. Next thing you know, you're just like, and that was my escape. That was my alcohol, just chugging bogeys, just siphoning bogeys, as one of my friends says. But yeah, I don't know what it's like with the alcohol for you, because I obviously get cravings even though I quit. I still get
I
cravings.
have no cravings at all.
Oh, bless your soul.
Only like energy drinks and water.
Oh, what about sugar?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a
Sugar?
lot of sugar.
Yeah, sugar.
Did you have to cut off hanging out with people that are drinkers?
Yes, I do. Because
Yeah.
but like I've gotten new friends who aren't drinkers, so it's a lot
That's good.
better.
Hey,
Yeah.
thank you, Jamie, for the $10. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you like the goods. That's something too, though. Even with when I first initially quit smoke, I know quitting weed, it's like whatever. It's really nothing. But
It's not though.
okay. What I mean,
not. It's
I
a little harder
used
than
to
you
smoke
think.
weed back in the day too.
You think it's nothing because people say it's not harmful.
All right.
So you keep.
No. What I
prolonging.
mean by it's nothing is there's no withdrawal from quitting weed. That's what I mean by that. Okay.
My dreams went crazy.
All right. Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah. Oh, wow. You had some weird dreams. You're sick.
I did.
I'm just kidding.
You. It's not really dreams.
No. You do get crazy dreams for at least a few weeks. I will say you are right.
Yeah,
You are right.
right?
Some
Intense,
crazy dreams. Yeah.
intense.
Intense. Yeah. You're waking up questioning like, is something wrong with me? Yeah. I had a weird dream one time. Check this shit out. So my grandfather passed away a couple of years ago, but he's like 92 when he died. But I had this crazy dream that I had offed somebody, right? I killed someone in the dream, and I'm tripping out because there's blood everywhere. And all of a sudden, my grandfather pulls up outside the house in a city bus. And he's not a bus driver. He's 92. And he comes in, and I'm thinking I'm in trouble. Next thing you know, he's like, Grandpa Jack's here to help. So we smuggle a body onto a city bus. And then he I don't even know what happened, but I woke up and I was just kind of like, oh, this weed shit's serious. But what I mean is like when I first quit weed and stuff and like not partying. So partying for me was going to the bar on a Thursday night. That was partying for me. I wouldn't really get drunk, hammered drunk, but it's like smoking weed, hanging out, chicks, and then next thing you know, you're doing that 3 days a week and it's consuming you. This was a long while back. But I had to literally not hang out with any of those people because it was so tempting for me to just go out and have fun and
Weed,
forget
women,
about
and whiskey sounds like the 3 W's.
Yeah, you could say that. That's what it was. And so I had to cut out all of that. And now it doesn't bother me at all. Somebody could smoke weed in front of me. I don't even care because I just get paranoid. Like if I smoke during the day, I'll get paranoid as shit. The only time I could smoke weed is like everything's done. I got nothing going on tomorrow. And I'm at I got some friends over or something. And it's almost like planned out. Like I know that Friday night coming up, I'm probably going to smoke some weed. Then
Have
I'm
you tried
fine.
edibles instead? Because I've noticed when I switch to edibles, I use it seldom and more medicinal than anything else.
Dude, edibles freak me out, man.
Yeah.
Dude, my whole body's buzzing. I'm like, whoa. Yeah, I can't do it.
And it lasts so long too. It's not a temporary thing. It's not like an hour. It's not like cocaine. It's not like over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, what time is it, guys?
I'm gonna bounce, guys. Hey,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
pick one. To the guy that
Hey.
quit drinking for 10 months, man, I'm proud of you, dude.
Yeah, man. Here's a year's right around the corner, brother. Thanks for coming in, Jonathan. I appreciate
All
you,
right,
brother.
y'all be grateful.
Yeah, man. We're
Head out too.
All right. Yeah, I'm heading out too. Later, guys. No, I'm just kidding. But hey, Rooney, I appreciate you coming on. We are going to end the stream a little early tonight because I got an early morning tomorrow. But appreciate everybody coming on. Hey, congratulations, dude. It's not easy to talk about this. What about real quick before we go though? I did AA meetings for a little while after my mom died, but I mostly did it for free therapy. That might sound kind of fucked up, but so do you go to AA meetings like regularly, or how are you handling that?
Oh yeah, I go to AA meetings pretty much every week, and that's awesome. That keeps me sober pretty much.
That's important, man.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah.
So
it's a good thing, man. Life is so much better. It's like I'm more calm. I'm more like chill. I've like for me, like, why create problem where the problem isn't there? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly. So anybody on the stream, you got any issues, man? Those AA meetings do wonders, dude. And you're going to hear some crazy stories. I mean, talk about some free entertainment. Whew. Boy, I'm thinking about going. I might just go hit one. I might hit one for shits and gigs coming up. No, I'm serious. They got some crazy, wild stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Someone,
I think someone got drunk once and then fell and messed up her arm, and then like the next day she like got up out of nowhere and started drinking again. I was like, what?
No way.
She didn't even go to the ER.
That's how you know they're for real, though. They're a trooper for real. But anyways, Rooney, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you. Everybody who's joined tonight, Jim, Ray, Jamie, all you guys. No evasions. What's up, brother? I didn't even say hi to you. Anybody I missed? Hell of a talk. I know it's a bit of an early stream tonight, but God, good talk. Solid shit. I needed it. And yeah, God, just good times, man. Hell of a talk. All right, I'll see you guys sometime this week.